everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again with the Pokeflipz podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles Dan. How are we doing today, Dan?
I'm doing well. Oh crap! I got to move my chair. I just realized I'm good for our landscape viewers, but our portrait viewers, I was half and half.
Yeah, I got it. Oh, the other way.
Yeah, I did get a haircut, so we'll do a quick hairline check. Definitely thinning out up there. These are pushing back. We got a little bit of that going on. It's funny because like the day that I cut my hair, I think it was like 2 days ago or whenever it was. I still answer all my YouTube comments. I either heart them or I reply to them. I give them a rocket emoji, whatever. But somebody in the comments said something about like the boom being correlated with Dan's hair and beard growth. They're like, Dan's hair, beard really long, we're booming. And I'm like, oh crap. Oh no, what did I just do? Hopefully the boom is more correlated to the beard, not to the hair, because I apologize if everything crashes soon. It may be because I chopped my hair off.
Oh Jesus, we're gonna blame you.
Is that Galifianakis? Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, we were a few minutes late.
Blaming me.
Nick was busy in the other room wrapping up his third, fourth, and fifth YouTube videos that are definitely coming soon. So tune in.
Hey, we got this Friday's video, tomorrow's video, dropping. What do? We do noon Central or noon Eastern time. So we got my next video dropping then. Next week we're gonna do 2 videos. So I got one dropping on Tuesday and then one dropping on Friday. I actually still have to record Friday's video, but we're sticking with it.
I'm bullish on Pokemon. I am not bullish on old school Pokemon uploads, but we'll see. I've been proven wrong before, so we'll see if Nick can prove me wrong again. As always, let me do the red tape stuff up front that we need to do. We're going to be live for the next 2.5 hours or so. I do have to cut right at like 3:45 p.m. Eastern. I have a call I have to take. Other than that, though, I think the one that I titled, every other week that we do these, there's like something in the news. There's always some drama cycle. There's always something going on. I think the big news that we'll kind of start out on is the whole PSA increasing the pricing 30%, whatever it was. The new floor went from $18.99 up to $24.99. So yeah, drop your questions, drop your comments, big stop sign emoji, big question mark, whatever, capitalize, yell at us, yell your questions at us in the chat so that I can start them as we go. We will answer all of them as we always do. But yeah, Nick, what are your thoughts? What is your, I guess I'll ask you like a couple layers to the question. So PSA increased their prices. Was it surprising? Was it enough? Do you think they'll be raising it again sometime in the near future? How much were you subbing to them last month? How much are you subbing to them in the next week and month? So multiple questions.
One question at a time. That's like 10 questions. I don't have to write this down.
I'm hitting you with a bunch all at once to think about the way that I think about it. If that, I guess I could have started small and then gone from there, but no, like unleash on us.
So yes, the increase in price, I was surprised by that. Raising the price $6 in one go, that's a dramatic increase. So I was surprised by that. I do think that will help kind of slow down submissions and potentially get people to start submitting to BGS, CGC, maybe 1 or 2 cards to tag. But yeah, I think it will slow down PSA submission, increase the other grading company submissions. I would expect it to slow down submissions and them not to raise pricing again. But then at the same time, James put out a video on Monday talking about how back in like 2021 PSA did the same thing where they dramatically raised pricing, and then a month later they ended up shutting down. Which I wouldn't think PSA would shut down again, just because they've expanded so much. But it is at the same time, it is with their expansion and them still not being able to keep up with the demand. That is wild. It just goes to show how many cards are being graded on a monthly basis. It's absolutely crazy. And then as far as like it affecting me, it won't affect me in the least bit. At this point, we're sending so few cards off to PSA that it doesn't matter really. I think we just did a submission to PSA recently, and I think it might have been. I think I sent. Did I send? I don't know if I sent anything. It might have been like 20 cards that I sent to PSA. So the vast majority of what I'm doing now is all through CGC. So affecting me, it won't. Moving forward, I'll probably not send to PSA and continue to send to CGC, and then just buy PSA cards from people at a percentage. I think that's the way I'll kind of handle this, is just more business as usual for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so similar for me, the vast majority of what I grade today is through CGC, specifically the CGC Fanatics thing that I've got going on there. But the little bit that I do with PSA, I actually I don't even know off the top of my head, so I'm actually opening up a new submission right now. But my average submission tier lately, a little bit on behalf of consigners, the majority on behalf of me though, is more like value, max, regular, more in that $60 to $80 per card tier. I am doing more higher end things that are going to be upcharged. Think of like your higher end alt arts. Think of very small subs as opposed to like mass quantity things. Most mass quantity things that I do these days are just going through CGC. I do have some subs that have been there a few weeks, a couple months, few months, whatever, that should be popping relatively soon, that were 20 of this or 50 of that or whatever. But that is the vast minority of what I'm doing these days actively. So as far as like how does it affect me, not drastically. And one thing I wanted to highlight here is Garen says, will people get nervous of another shutdown and end up fire sending subs? This is one thing that I shared in this is some paywall juice, right? This is shared in my office hours earlier today, shared in Discord the other day when we first heard the news. I think, and I say it with some caveats, because there will be people that panic send now that get PSA 8s in December that they can't sell for $10, $12, $15, right? So some people will terribly pre-grade and get destroyed by it, whatever. But if you're somebody who's been grading for months or for years, graded hundreds of cards, thousands of cards, if you were making money last month submitting the PSA, all the risks are still there. If it takes 6 months to get the card back, the market could fall, the card could fall, all that stuff. But generally, if you know what the hell you're doing, you should be sending as much, if not more, this week than last week, because the only information that we got is like PSA's backlog is growing, and I truly think people are gonna panic send a bunch. And one thing, props to PSA. Aside from some insider info that leaked out here or there, apparently there was a blowout cards forum post that came through some insider at GameStop or somebody who knew someone at GameStop. So the information was like, that's the way these things work, right? The information was being trickled out here and there. Some people probably submitted 10,000 cards over the weekend because they knew this was coming. I didn't know it was coming. A lot of people probably didn't know it was coming. But I think they're gonna get slammed this week. I think they're going to get slammed next week. I think to some extent, there's going to be a little bit of like writing on the wall being seen, being read. That's been there all along. The prices are still as crazy as ever. Power packs and instant rips and Galaxy Grails and all these different things out there are still ubiquitous and going crazy. So I think short term, the price goes up again before it goes down. So I'm not actively doing this myself because it's just a small portion of my business these days. And the little bit I do with PSA happens more at the $60 to $80 per card tier anyways. But if I was regularly submitting 100, 200 cards a week last month, I would continue business as usual. Little bit of additional risk now that you're $6 a card higher. But ask yourself, look at your last sub. Look at your sub from 4 months ago, from 3 months ago, last week. Are you making less than $6 a card on average? In this crazy, obscene world, market liquidity, all this cash flowing around, you're probably making significantly more than that anyways. So yeah, if the numbers still work, I see so many weird takes. People getting offended. PSA should just infinitely scale. PSA should give us $9.99 grading, blah, blah, blah. Like, sure, it costs them almost nothing to do this job. It costs them very little. They could charge you $8 a card and make money. I guarantee it. I guarantee you PSA can grade cards. You know how I know? Because I know what CGC is doing for deals for other people, and it's not that complicated. Plastic is not that expensive. Fancy little holographic labels in bulk are not that expensive. So while PSA could grade for $8 a card and make money, why would they? Everyone's making money left and right. Like, they're a business, supply and demand. And one thing, another little bit, a little bit of paywall juice is that currently the demand for graded cards, PSA graded cards, is X. And X is larger than Y. What is their grading capacity? One thing that PSA, and I think Nat Turner is smart enough, I think Ryan Hogue is smart enough, I think all these guys are smart enough to know this. There exists a certain amount of PSA graded cards that is too much for the market to bear. And the dangerous thing is, say that demand in current times is X. If and when they overproduce demand, you simultaneously get hit with a double whammy. If and when everyone can have it, less people want it. So say that demand is X, and this is whether this is like Supreme t-shirts, whether this is a luxury brand, whatever, whether this is Pokemon card booster boxes, MetaZoo booster boxes, whatever it is. If and when you exceed what the demand is for the time, not only does the X demand, say you print 2X, say you grade 2X cards, say you make 2X demand Supreme t-shirts. Simultaneously, you find out that fickle consumer demand, X does not hold. X does not maintain. X might go down to 0.2X. Demand will tank. I promise you, if instead of Evolving Skies booster boxes, if they printed Evolving Skies master sets and they shipped out to, and they could have done this for profit. Talk to people in the 1990 sports cards. They did do this. If they printed Evolving Skies instead of a booster box, if they printed the full set and they sold that to you for $199.99, and anyone that wanted it could have a master set of Evolving Skies for that much money, one, that would have been extremely profitable for Pokemon short term. They would have sold a ton of them, and then they would have been worth almost nothing. That just doesn't work. If everyone can have something they think they want, a lot less people want it. So you get hit with a double whammy. You overproduce demand. Demand turned into a fraction of what it used to be overnight. So now you have multiples of what the current demand is now. Long rant, if that makes sense. But there is a number of PSA slabs that is too much for the market to bear. I think we're a long way away from that. There is a number of Destined Rivals booster boxes that is too much for the market to bear. We are clearly a long way away from that. But the number does exist. The number does exist. Can they functionally print it? Are there enough trees on the planet that we can clear cut to create our 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch cardboard rectangles? Maybe not. But like theoretically, there does exist a number that just makes this all go to zero. The intrinsic value of all this stuff is zero. There is no intrinsic value. It is all speculative. It is all greater fool to some extent. It is all that. But that's not me saying everything's going to zero. It's just saying that like PSA needs to be strategic. All these, and it's funny too, because there will be some people in the camp of saying, why is PSA upcharging me to $24.99? This, that, the other thing. Supply and demand exists. But there will be people in the camp of like, why won't PSA increase supply? And then simultaneously, they'll laugh at the Game Piece Army. They'll think that $600 Destined Rivals is fine, and they'll laugh at the Game Piece Army that says that think of the children, every box needs to be under MSRP, and they won't realize the conflict between those two schools of thought. They won't realize like the hypocrisy between having the one opinion and having the other at the same time, right?
Yeah.
There's my long rant that it might sound semi-rehearsed, and I literally just did it 2 hours ago in office hours. So yeah, that was pretty fresh. But the whole game piece army, the whole everyone needs to have it accessible. No, literally all these things are they are mass-produced scarcity. Mass-produced, like the only reason any of this stuff has a value is because they don't make enough. If they made too much, value goes away. That is what all of this is. That is what a lot of luxury cars are. That's what a lot of luxury designer brands are. That's what a lot of luxury high-end collectibles are these days. Serialization in sports cards. Look at 90 sports cards. 90 sports cards was like, we're going to print the whole set and give everyone everything. Short term, I think companies made a ton of money doing that, because everyone was dumb and they thought that's what they wanted, and so they bought it all. And it would be hilarious. This will not happen. I guarantee this won't happen. But if Pokemon in 2027, the way that Pokemon could maximize the profit for 2027 is probably printing the same amount, and literally just like, would it actually produce more profit? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I guess I'm a little on the fence as to whether or not it would. It would produce a lot of profit, though. If they said, hey, the new set that comes out, Dragon Ascension, we're going to print you a master set. Hey, booster boxes are $160 MSRP. We're going to do $249.99 for only the cost of 1.5 booster boxes. We're going to give you direct to consumer, print to demand. We're going to sell you the whole set. You know how many dummies will buy that thinking that's what they want? And then within a year or two, Pokemon will be 1999, 2002, 2003, 2005 sports cards, which was nearly dead. You know how many? And go on to eBay right now. Some of them have gone up some because of like all the craze of the last 5 years. But you can go buy complete sets of the late 90s stuff for like $40, for like $50, for like under what it was sold retail in 30 years ago or something. So, some people's thoughts, it's like, you're so close. If you just apply the way you're thinking over here to the same thing, like they don't realize it. They realize it's the case for the cards, but for some reason they don't realize it's the case for the plastic around the cards too. It kind of blows my mind that people can't make that little connection between the two. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you, Nick.
I got you there. I can't imagine there's you might have a few diehard collectors who actually do want everything to be like that, but I can't imagine there's many people wanting everything widely available and Pokemon not worth anything. I know I wouldn't be in it. What's the fun in that?
Well, the thing is, a lot of people think they want it, and a lot of people don't realize the prices would go away. But a lot of people, if this was a democracy, right? If Pokemon printing was a democracy, I think that would win in a landslide. I think if we would. I think the investing space, I think the space of people who are deeper down the rabbit holes and kind of know business and kind of know what's going on here to some extent, I think we would all vote against it. But I think the vast majority of look at Pokemon investing, Pokemon collecting, Reddit, whatever. Look at some of the Facebook threads and the amount of mass downvotes and the amount of scalper this and MSRP that. And I think the game piece army is vast. And it's ironic too, because like they think they know what they want, but the only reason they're here wanting it is because it's high. And 2 years ago, when I was building the palette of S1, SE1 through SV5 for under 500 a case, they weren't there because it wasn't high, right? Like they're only here crying. They're only here when they're crying. There's only things to cry about when it's high. So like they're inherently just not here when it's available. It's a tale as old as time. I would have loved, like I did have some sports cards in the 90s. I got them as gifts or whatever. I got a pack here, pack there. I wasn't like deeply engaged in the space. I would have loved to have lived through the 90s sports card bubble boom as like an actual vendor. It would be fascinating to have that bit of well, no, like in the time. Well, one, I like to think I would have been fairly smart about it. I like to think I would have made a lot of money during it, and then I would have lost a lot of money at the end. But the amount of money you would have made in and through it likely would have vastly exceeded the tail end part of it, except for some people that and my whole buckets thing, my whole de-risking, taking money out into other things. I'm sure I would have been doing that then though too. But no, it's fascinating history lesson that a lot of people, I mean, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme, as they say. A lot of people just never learn from like things that we've been through before. And I promise you, there are a large subset of people that would vote for, yeah, print us the whole set. Yeah, make 1 billion of that promo card. Make like it, that doesn't. Nobody wins with that. Nobody wins with that.
No.
Dan spilling the paywall content. When can I access my refund? Maybe this just raises the floor prices of 8s and 9s.
I don't think so.
No, like for how long we've gotten by, and the whole I see junk slab somewhere. Yeah, slow down the Pokemon junk slab era. The crazy
junk
thing
slab
is
era is not happening. Junk slab era is sold.
We are
not
in
in a junk. No.
We are in it.
Junk
Just the
slab is when you go to a local show and you see the BCW shoe boxes full of junk sports cards.
You didn't let me finish though.
$1 to $5. We are, and these are 9s and 10s.
Yeah,
we are not even close to a junk slab.
We're in it, but we are just so crazy that we're paying $30, $20 for those junk slabs. It's like those slabs exist. Nick, are you saying tens of millions of junk slabs don't exist? They do.
No, they don't. People
we're overvaluing them.
People always pay more for them.
That's two different things.
Pokemon is not going to have a junk slab era. You've been saying we're going to see a junk slab era for so long, and we are so far from that.
See, the slabs already exist. I make them every week. I am making hundreds more junk slabs. Go click all the links below. Go buy them all. But no, it never punish, right? I'm not investing heavily in slabs long term. I think there are a lot of slabs that would be investable, that would be fine over the long term. I think there's a lot of slabs, I agree, that will never become junk slabs, that will always age relatively well. But there's just a lot of cards out there too that go for crazy prices for how repeatable they are. I mean, look at your Burger Chew. I think that card I think it's a decent card. I don't mean to be so mean to it, to call it a junk slab, because I think it's worth throwing it in the trash. I understand why people desire it. I understand why people are interested in it. But the fact that you can just grade hundreds of thousands of a card at these $30 premiums for getting a literal participation trophy. The only thing it means having a PSA 10 Burger Chew, it doesn't mean it achieved a 10. It doesn't mean it overcame anything to earn that 10. It means that you paid someone to put it in a piece of plastic. They all get 10s. They all like 90% 10 rates. One piece too, actually. That's something that is bonkers to me right now. I don't know anything about it, but I hear there's crazy premiums. I know a lot of people cooking some one-piece plays through my grading service and others. That stuff is like bulletproof. That stuff is Kevlar. And I think the grading premiums are obscene. I actually feel crazy for not participating in it myself. Maybe I'm spilling too much sauce right here, right now. But I think there's disgusting plays being made in One Piece right now. So like simultaneously, there are people, and I saw some people crying on Instagram. It's like, what are you crying for? You have made how many? You made $1 million in the past 5 years. You like, what are we talking about? Like PSA is gonna get theirs. But to see somebody posting and complaining about supply and demand existing, when they make a 6-figure income, putting participation trophies into plastic, like literally just, it's crazy. It's all crazy. I don't know. I don't understand so much of the market, but that doesn't prevent me. I think Retro says stuff like this a lot. It's like, you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to be the buyer of it, but don't let that get in the way of you doing business and making money off it, right? And some people don't really like that take either. Oh, Dan's selling all these things that he doesn't believe in, and like, yeah, I don't know. I don't set the market price. I just sell for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ponga's so evil. He hopes they increase to 50. I would not be surprised if in the next 2 months the new floor is 30. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes by $5 more a card. I'm surprised at how many people are surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised. I'd be shocked if they did that.
I'd be more surprised if the price didn't go up again. Look at the margins, Nick. Look at these great. Look at Z&G on Instagram every week. Look at these new prices that everything is achieving.
Grading, you're not good. Yes, you try and submit all 10s, but you're not going to get all 10s. You're going to get those 9s and 8s, that random 6 in there.
Yeah, but the 6 loses you. What does the 6 lose you? $30, and the 10 makes you 200. Like, who the hell cares? Like, the numbers work out overall. It doesn't matter. I
do think people will slow down submissions. Why could I don't know. Maybe the live streaming world is just different, but why pay so much for PSA when you can send to CGC for more than half the price? And CGC does well. I just listed a bunch of CGC Pristine 10s. Now, obviously, that's the highest grade with CGC. That's what people are looking for. I listed them on regular eBay, and they're doing really, really well. I'm getting a bunch of offers. I'm getting a decent bit of sales on them. I just don't see why people are still sending to PSA. You're paying so much. You're waiting so much longer. Why not try another grading company?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are like only one and they don't dabble in the others. And I could say the same. I know some people that are only CGC that I think would benefit from dabbling a little bit. Black Label Chase, dabbling a little bit. Like I use all three to some extent. The vast majority I use CGC. But no, I think like anything, like any topic in life, there's people on both extreme ends, and I generally fall in the middle on a lot of them, or at least just towards one side or the other, not all the way in the corner. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like what I envision these rants about. It's like, sure, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I was there. We used to have a machine named PSA. I used to be able to insert $6, and then a month later, I would get a $20 bill returned to me. That was pretty good business. So you know what I've always done? I've always stood in front of the PSA machine and I've inserted my $6 and I got a $20 out later. You know what I was doing 5 years ago? I was standing at the PSA machine inserting $80 with my unlimited Charmanders from Brushfire theme decks from 2-player starter sets. And I had to put in 80. I could have stood in front of the machine and I could have been like, this machine used to be $6. This machine used to be $6 and I'd get $20 out a month later. Now I have to put in 80. Well, you know what came out when I put in 80? $400 came out. So like last week, sure, you could have stood at the machine and you could have put in your $20 and this machine takes 6 months now. Well, you can put in 60 and then it only takes 2 months. You can put in 150 and then it only takes a week or two, whatever. But people are standing in front of a machine that will take $25 from them and will return to them like riches beyond your wildest dreams. Like, what are we doing, people? Now, if you're a TRE capital W, shout out to Ray Shining Cards and Collectibles. I believe he owns that copyright on that phrase. If you're a true collector, TRE capital W, if you're the truest of the true collector, you need to ascend beyond falling victim to like needing that third-party validation. Honestly, I think collectors in the final form, I think just shun grading entirely. I think it's like the bell curve where you've got the stupid guy and the smart guy, and then you've got like somebody mad in the middle, and it's like binder collecting exists on both extremes. Like when you're not into the hobby at all, before you learn of grading, you collect in a binder, and then once you've fully ascended, and you've seen how the hot dog was made, and you like, I no longer, for my PC, I no longer take in part in grading. But as far as businesses are concerned, any business being mad about it, I think is just wild. Anyone who has been a net remover of capital through grading, being mad about what just transpired with the PSA is insane. I just can't wrap my mind around it. I can't wrap my mind around it because I think part of the reason that it's so lucrative is because it's so arbitrary, because it's so made up, because it's so like willy-nilly, because it's so expensive, because it takes so long. That's why it's so lucrative. So yeah, there's my long rant and ramble on that. But I for one, I'm going to continue inserting money into the machine and taking more money out of the machine. The second that it stops making me money, which if everyone thought about grading the way that I do, it wouldn't make any money. It would become $5 again for all the truest of true collectors. But ironically, if and when we ever get to where grading is sub 10 again, it will only be because people return to sanity to some extent. And I frankly, I hope we don't get all the way there. I hope the least I ever pay for grading again is like $15 or something, because that means the market is generally doing pretty well and overvaluing things, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, I can see it. I think that makes sense.
I am starring a bunch of questions, but I'm also 15 minutes behind starring questions.
Oh, we're slacking here.
But yeah, I don't think like $6 a card, I don't think that breaks a lot of margins for a lot of people. Will people submit things that they wish they sold raw at the time? Absolutely. I sent some burger chews. I sent some burger chews for $75 a card. I sent some for $40 a card. Ironically, I got more wrecked the slower that I sent them. The less money I sent some that I spent $75 a card on. I did the best on those because I was kind of late to the play. The more that I paid, the better I did. Because that whole falling knife coming out of the gate, people are crazy paying these premiums. Some amount of that buoyed by your instant rips, your power packs, your courtyard, your whatever. But I don't think someday, I think it will all come around. I don't think next year. I don't think we're that close to the junk slab era coming. I think I made the mistake 5 years ago of saying that it was going to come sometime soon. But no, I think we, and maybe ironically, 5 years ago, I was saying I think it's coming soon. And I think in many ways it should have. But ironically now, I'm saying I don't think it's coming in the next 5 years, which means it is almost definitely coming in the next 5 years because I think it's not. So we'll see how that ages.
It's not happening, Krabby. Not a shot.
You think never? You think there will never be a time? So here's how
I want to say never, but I would say maybe a tiny percentage that it'll happen at some point. But I really don't think we'll have one like we do with sports. I think they're two completely different things. Now, when I say junk slabs, though,
yeah,
we're not talking PSA 6.
Let's do $5 slabs. Will vendors at any point in the next 50 years have shoeboxes full of $5 slabs that literally, like by then, first class 4-ounce will be like $10. So will they have things that they literally can't ship? Because like that's how I define a junk slab. Basically, you literally can't ship it as a buy it now on eBay.
I think you have to include the grade though, because if we're talking PSA 6 Weedles, then yes. But if we're talking PSA 9s and 10s, no, I can't see that happening.
What about CGC 9s and 10s?
CGC 9s, yes. CGC 10. I think you have to have CGC 10 as your baseline because that's a PSA 9. Regular CGC 10s are PSA 9s.
I'm grading cards today that I would not spend $5 for in a CGC 10, aside from the fact that I can mystery pack them, or bulk sell them to a mystery packer or whatever. Like the only reason that I would pay for them is because I can sell it for a premium. But there are literally tens of millions of cards that are not worth $2 that are selling for $10, $20, $30, $50 in PSA, CGC, whatever. I think those will be junk slabs in 20 years, especially because right now we already have tens of millions. We're grading 2 million cards a month between PSA and CGC. In 20 years, Nick, that's 2 billion more cards. That's two.
Yes, but then look at these collectors.
200 million. 200
I sent you on Instagram. That one guy, random guy, nobody's heard of. He had it had to have been 1,000 graded cards just sitting on a table. He's not a seller. He doesn't sell. All he does is collect. And that's one guy nobody's heard of. People collect this stuff. We have a person in the stream famous for collecting PSA 9s. He has hundreds of PSA 9s, and he loves collecting them. There are people who, instead of collecting binder cards, are going for PSA 9, PSA 10 cards. I think there is a massive demand for collectors of these cards.
Yeah, I misplaced the 0 there. I got a little excited. I added an extra 0. It's not 2 billion cards. It's 200 million though. If PSA and CGC don't scale more, which I think they will, I don't think they'll scale infinitely. I think they'll be smart. I don't think they'll overproduce drastically. But if PSA and CGC scale, say another 50%, and mind you, they've 10x'd in the past few years. If they scale another 50%, we're talking about adding 300 million slabs. I'm doing that right? 24 million a year. Yeah, we're talking about adding 300 million slabs. That's over the next decade. We're talking about adding 500 million slabs over the next 20 years.
But it's not gonna continue like this. You say this, we're gonna continue this boom for the next 30 years. We're gonna have peaks and valleys. We're not gonna be in this market for the next 30 years.
If and when those valleys come, that's like one of two things needs to be true. Either junk slabs will happen, either MSRP will be achieved again. Like there are people simultaneously saying Pokemon will never have junk slabs, boxes will never go under $160, and they're saying that like for forever. Well, forever is not 20 years. My forever is probably 50 years, hopefully, if I'm lucky. If I make it till 85. 50 years, I'll be 85. I would, if I could lock that in today.
Yeah, probably 90, 95, 100. With all the technology, come on.
Maybe. I mean, they might do away with this pesky aging thing someday, but they haven't yet. But no, I don't know. Maybe I always get called bearish, right? Maybe I'm way too bearish. And I just don't understand how these and I'm not going to spill all my plays, but man, look at some of the PSA vault auctions. Look at some of the Fanatics Collect auctions. Look at some of the things that are getting put in slabs and making a profit for the grader. It's pretty wild out here.
It is. I just think Pokemon, you can't compare Pokemon and sports. We've talked about it before, but like sports, you have players that nobody's heard of anymore. Players that were popular in the 80s and 90s that nobody cares about anymore. So those slabs obviously aren't going to be worth anything. Whereas Pokemon, you only have a set number of Pokemon, and you literally have a collector for every type of Pokemon. Look at we got Ditto-logist in here. We literally have people collecting a Ditto. Sorry for the Ditto hate there.
I think it's Ditto-ologist, I think.
Oh, Ditto. Yeah, okay. We've got people collecting Dittos. We have people in the stream coming in asking for the most random Pokemon. We've had people come in asking for Gravelers, Golems, just the Pokemon that you would never expect people to ask for. So there is literally a collector for every type of Pokemon. And that's the thing that's gonna prevent a junk slab era from happening.
I guess ultimately, like, we'll see what happens. I'm actually gonna search. I'm gonna search eBay right now. Pokemon PSA 9 and 10. I haven't looked at the results yet. I need to look for completed auctions only. I just want to, like, Pokeflipz 10 years from now, we will revisit this search and we will see what happens. But yeah, let me share screen. Oops, I turned off my camera instead of sharing screen. And I'm going to share this. Let me go to sold listings. This has ended recently. I was going to say, if this is low to high, if the lowest PSA 9 in the PSA vault was $33, I was just going to go make I was going to end the live. I was going to go make a PSA sub of 10,000 cards at the new increased prices. But there's already people being punished to some extent. eBay search sucks. I don't know why. Well, PSA 7's coming up because it's number 9. But like this is a junk slab. I'm sorry, Froakie. Frogs are cool. I like the little frog guy. But this is a junk slab. This is a junk slab.
It's still 10. Like, what is it? It's you're still talking $10.
But these are the slabs that today these would not sell on eBay. Buy it now, $14.99. It's only like we are at the peak of the biggest boom that we've known to date. I'm not saying there won't be bigger booms in the future, but to date we are in the biggest boom that we know of. And these cards in 9 and 10 grade are barely selling for $6 after shipping, $12 if you include shipping. And there are not hundreds of these slabs. There are not thousands of these slabs. Counting CGC, counting PSA, counting BGS, counting XYZ, everything, there are millions and there will be tens of millions of these slabs. Like what I said was, we are in the junk slab era. We are just overvaluing things so drastically that, like, we aren't letting and I know I'm fighting the market, and the market's smarter, the market's everyone's opinions together, but like the real price of these things is nothing. We just are insane. I say we as a market. So hashtag never punished. Hashtag someday punished. Someday punished. I mean, the people who paid $20 to grade these cards, they're getting punished today. But the ironic thing is, like, they're not, though, because this Whimsicott, this Espeon, if you graded 50 of these Espeons and 10 hit 10s and 40 hit 9s, you lost money on every 9, but overall in the order, you probably made money. No one should have bid on the 9s. No one should have bid, like, it's crazy. The market that we're in, the liquidity, the cash flow, the depth of, like, the amount of money in the space. I mean, we're grading, not to spill all the plays, we're grading playing cards. This is literally 90 sports cards. Like, you buy a deck, you're guaranteed to get certain cards, and people are making money. We're grading wafer stickers series 2 Sarah Ledges, and we're doing it because it makes money overall. Like, we're in the junk slab era. We're just not yet pricing it as it will be priced, in my opinion.
All I learned from that is I got to check out the PSA store more often. Why sell these cards for $5? You can find endless buyers that would buy those for like $10.
Well, they're auctioning them. They don't want to touch them. They don't want to handle them.
Why don't I ever see these auctions?
Go mass bid. Chat with Galaxy.
Depressing. I've done that a few times on Fanatics, and you spend like 2 hours going through everything, placing bids, only to win like 20 cards in the end.
Let me see. I just want to make sure I have all the questions starred, and then we're going to start addressing them. New podcast name, The Bear and the Bull. Oh, man. How does Nick hate on collecting Ditto while he's collecting an error of Ninetales? Ooh, get wrecked, Nick. Your Ninetales cards don't even have an attack. Any Ditto card can just, I guess, the Fossil Ditto, whose only ability is transform, and then he takes the guy's moves, he'll also have no attack. But like any Ditto can beat that stupid Ninetales. He doesn't even have an attack. Come on, he has no attack damage. November 2025 is the last boom. Yes. The slabs of today are the junk slabs of tomorrow. No, I was just joking for the last half an hour while I was ranting. Everything is underpriced. Everything is undervalued. I think it's crazy that those $6 auctions on PSA weren't going for $60. Honestly. Walrus says I won't send a PSA at 25, but if they shut down and do lottery for 50, that's when I'll send. Let us know.
Those days?
Let us know. Hashtag lottery in the live chat, in the comments if you're watching later. Hashtag lottery. I have a video that I made 4 years ago or whatever on my channel of how to win PSA submission of privileges via the lottery. Ryan Hogue said that they're never going back to the lottery. And one thing that I'll say too, there's a few questions kind of addressing like in that vein. Did you watch the ZNG video where he said the price hike made him worried that PSA is currently drowning? He said what they're doing is reminiscent of the last time they shut down. I mean, last time things are different in a few ways. One, the pandemic, logistics, them getting raw materials to some extent, PSA shut down. PSA, some days passed where they did not grade cards, as far as I understand. They were not in essential business during the pandemic shutdown. So like things are fundamentally different in a lot of ways. Another thing that was happening too is that PSA had been public and then they went private. They got sold. They were transitioning under new ownership. And a lot of perfect storm of things led to that backlog becoming a multiple years backlog. I don't believe they'll ever let the backlog get to multiple years again. Another stupid thing they did back then, when they raised the prices, they told you they were raising the prices. They said, hey guys, we're drowning in subs. So next Friday, we're increasing the prices 30%. What do you think that did? Everyone submitted months worth of cards in 2 weeks. It's like, oh, LOL, we're 2 years backlog, 14 million cards. Like the way that PSA handled it last time around was like a business, what's the word I'm looking for? An exercise in like what not to do. A case study is what I was looking for. It was like a case study in what not to do when you're swamped in a backlog of production needs, basically. So this time around, I trust that they'll navigate it better. When you wake up and the prices are just, you wake up and barring being an insider, there was a little bit of insider trading going on. Absolutely. There are some people that were warned last week who got 10,000 cards submitted. It just is what it is. But that's the way that it needs to be. If and when they're going to raise the price from 25 to 30, I hope we don't hear about it until it happened. Hey, you just woke up today? Prices are $29.99 now. So honestly, like I said earlier, if you were making money last month with PSA at $18.99, you'll probably be able to still make money at $24.99 now. Business as usual. I would send what I was sending last week. I am sending what I was sending last week. Very little, but like same applies to CGC. If and when CGC raises 25% overnight, you know what I'm doing? I'm submitting just as much the next day. Every week, actually. It's on my to-do list. I have like in front of me, I have a little schedule to remind me what I have to do every day, like the must-dos and the other things and whatever. But every Monday, I send 300 cards to CGC. That's my minimum. That's my floor. If and when I get a big collection in, I'm sending more. I might send 1,000 cards in a given week. But every week, every Monday, I'm sending at least 300 cards to CGC. If and when the price goes up 25%, that first week, that first month of the new higher price, I might make myself send 600 every week. I will send more, not less. Because if it goes up once, it feels more likely that it might go up again sometime soon. That's my take.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Let's see. But yeah, I think this might age poorly. It's simple math. They know how many cards are coming in every day. They know how many cards they're shipping out every day. If and when short term, they shouldn't overreact. If there's a day, like I'm sure Mondays are busier, right? Because people enter them over the weekend and they submit them in and whatever. But overall, week by week, they should look at it. Hey, we graded 300,000 cards this week. Well, 700,000 cards got entered. that is an emergency. That is a problem. But all said and done, I think recently Ryan Hogue was actually on with Neo's Cards and Comics. Good interview. People should go check that out. But he said the backlog is like a couple million cards. They're grading over 1 million cards a month. So it's not a massive deal. And people might say, like, why are my cards taking 4 months to come back if they're only backlogged by a month and a half worth of submissions? Because a lot of submissions are being done at the higher tiers. Every time I send for 70, every time someone sends for 80, 150, 300, that pushes back your $25 submissions, right? So
yeah. Exactly.
Lots of layers there. I am starring a bunch more stuff. Ponga says, if you're not winning stuff on Fanatics, you're doing something very wrong. I mean, yeah, if you're a streamer and you're like starving for slabs, I was just scrolling the first page of PSA 9 and PSA 10 Pokemon slabs. There are 250 that ended in the last 90 days for under $8 a card. I don't know if they combine shipping. They probably do to some extent, but there are literally the whole second page goes from 750 to 770. So there's another 250 cards under $8. Let me go to like the 20th page. There are thousands and thousands of cards ending on PSA every month that are going for under $12, under $13 a card. That are 9s and 10s. I'm not talking about PSA 6 Weedles and things like that. I'm talking about actually mint and gem mint. I mean, there's a Quaxley there. A Quaxley in 9 for under $12. What are we talking about? Go go do some mass bidding on Fanatics. Go do some mass bidding on PSA. Like there are slabs out there if that's what you're after.
I'll just add to that. Ponga, if you're so good, why aren't you full time yet?
Ooh. Get wrecked, Ponga. Ponga. You know what you can do to really show them?
The other is not full time, so we'll just say that.
Ponga, you know what you could do to really stick it to Nick? You could put in your 2-week notice right now. You could leave your cubicle and you can put in your 2-week notice right now. You can let us know in chat. I will pin it. We will shame Nick. But right now, Ponga, Nick just got you good. You wear the shame. Good time to tune in. You got me. Come on, Ponga. Don't take it laying down. Ponga, I'm going to help you get him back, though. He's not a real fan, so this isn't going to hit that hard. You know why I wore my Jets shirt? You know why I wore my Jets shirt? Nick, do you know? Super Bowl 60 just happened. Jets product. So the Jets may or may not have used and abused Darnold. They may or may not have not realized his full potential, but he once donned a Jets uniform. So I am donning my Jets green in respect and honor of Sam Darnold, Super Bowl 60 champion, who destroyed the Patriots. Love to see that. So Ponga, we got this Patriots fan back. Not a massive fan, but still feels good though. Still feels good.
That was a boring Super Bowl. Defense was so good on both sides. Offense on both sides was awful. Patriots way worse.
There were some missed passes. But the outcome is the only thing I cared about. The only outcome that was acceptable was a Seahawks win. I was wearing my Jets green on game day too. Leonard Williams. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, right? The quarterbacks get all the fame, but Darnold doesn't win a Super Bowl if he was never a Jet. Facts. So the Jets were a crucial link in that chain that ended with him being a Super Bowl champion.
Okay, there.
But I did specifically wear this. That was my in. Ponga, we got him back a little bit. But also, Ponga, quit your job today, right now. Financial advice, life advice, every kind of advice possible. Dan's beard is gaining power. It only grew like as much as it normally grows in 2 weeks, but I lopped off the top end, so it looks a lot bigger than it was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes, it does.
Here we go. Talking about grading. I'll try to stay on topic with all the grading stuff because we have a bunch more, but I do have every other question starred. People getting pissed about PSA hiking prices aren't diversifying enough. Collectors shouldn't care and businesses shouldn't be impacted near what they're saying. And Peak, I'll go further. I don't know if you said this before or after I went on my rant. Like people that are 100% PSA, I agree generally that some of them should look into diversifying. Some of them should try CGC, PGS. I don't care ultimately if they do or not. But you can make money with all of them. But I think the analogy of like they used to stand at a machine that they'd put $19 into and would just spit them out like profit. Now it's taking a little longer and it's costing a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's still making money. So it's like, why are you getting so mad at that? Like part of the reason that it's so lucrative is because it's so infuriating in some ways. So this is just part of the process. It's wild to me that people that are benefiting so much. Now, if your engagement with PSA is the truest of true collectors and you're building out your Hidden Fates Shiny Vault set, Master Set PSA 10, you're building out your 151 Master Set 10, you're building out your Ascended Heroes Master Set 10, and you literally just want to grade every card and you want to put them away or say whatever you're going to put them in slabs and you want to collect all 9s, all 10s, 1 through 10 sets, whatever. I could see frustration there. But if you're someone who uses PSA as a tool to extract money from the hobby and you're getting mad over this, like that is complete, like that's misplaced / unfounded anger, in my opinion.
But do we know people like that? Is there people who are submitting massive volumes to PSA and posting that they're pissed about the PSA increases? I don't know of anyone.
I'm not going to name names.
The only ones I
could open
saw
up
were
Instagram.
people who the only ones I saw were people who are either submitting very little or, like you said, collectors who were mad. I didn't see like you, James. I don't even know people who submit massive volumes.
What you said is generally, and maybe I'm misattributing some of it, because as always, like usually the loudest people are people who aren't affected whatsoever. You use like the peanut gallery is very loud. The people who are very minimally affected, but I definitely saw some people that kind of surprised me. I saw some. It's like, man, and maybe I don't know their full story, maybe I don't know their full interaction, but it's like it's only so lucrative because it's so infuriating. It's like grading said by somebody who's using grading to remove 6 figures plus net income per year. Grading the way that relative to how the market values it and all that stuff, it's just a joke. It is a joke how inconsistent they are, how much we value them as a whole, as a market, compared to like their repeatability and their standards and their professionalism. Like it is actually a joke, to be honest with you. But like, I am a businessman. I'm a capitalist. I understand why they're increasing prices. To say that you don't understand or don't agree with them increasing prices is just wild work. And I don't browse Instagram too much, but sometimes I flip through some stories. Sometimes I scroll a little bit, and I don't even remember well enough to name some of the names. And if I did, I wouldn't. But it felt like there were people who should know better than to be complaining about it. It's like, what are we doing here? Do I wish that I could put in less money and extract more money? Yes. Do I wish it only cost 5? Like, is that reasonable though? No. Like, what are we talking about? It's all asinine, and it's reasonable that PSA is going to in-house some of that obscene profit. Props to them. Props to Nat. Props to Collectors Universe. The whole upcharge system, and people not understanding that. Like, what are you talking about? The upcharge system, like, again, if you're a true collector and you're grading things that you're going to hold forever, I understand the complaints. Very valid. If you're a business extracting money in the space, and here's a different analogy. So first people were using the vending machine. A vending machine where you put in a $5 bill and it comes out a $20 bill. You put in a $100 bill and out comes a $1,000 bill. Now, I'm going to change up the analogies. PSA, CGC, Beckett, they are the only companies in the space that, like the Fed, literally print money. Well, you know what my issue with the Fed is? The Fed won't, or the Treasury or the Fed or whoever you want to call it, the Fed won't let me borrow the printers. I asked them. I said, hey, Jay Powell. Hey, Jay Powell. The new guy. I forget what the new guy's name is. He comes on soon. I said, hey, I dropped the line to him. I said, hey, could I get in there and I'll pay you well. I'll give you 50%. I offered to give him 50% of the money I printed. And you know what? He said, ha, dummy. I make 100% when I do it. Why am I going to rent that to you for any amount of money? And you know what PSA does? You know what Nat does? Shout out to Nat. He may have called me dumb once. He also called me cute. People forget that he also called me cute. How many people have been called cute by a billionaire? He said, don't be dumb. He also said, don't be cute. But you know what? When I asked Nat, hey, Nat, take my $1,000. Can I borrow your money printing presses for just an hour? Oh, yeah, sure. And I'm doing the math. It's like, Nat's only charging me $1,000 for an hour on his money printer. I can print $5,000 in that hour. Oh, well, Nat realized that he was charging me $1,000 and I could make $5,000. Well, Nat just upped the rent to $2,000. Am I going to cry about that? Am I going to cry about paying $2,000 an hour to rent a money printer that prints $5,000? Did I like last week paying only $1,000? Yes. Am I going to cry about printing $2,000 today? No. Who the hell? What the hell? I don't understand. I frankly, I don't understand. Nick, am I lost here? What's going on?
No, I'm agreeing. I want to know who disagrees. I don't
think a lot
know
of people.
Maybe
I'm strawmanning. Maybe nobody is upset. Maybe nobody. Let us know in the comments. Have you guys seen anybody on Instagram that takes money out of the space that is confused or upset? Or maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I was sick, actually. Let me give disclaimers. Maybe I'm strawmanning. I apologize. I'm not intentionally doing that. I was actually sick. I don't get sick that much. But Tuesday and Wednesday, throwing up in the bathroom. All like
TMI.
No, I know. I was not in a good mental state. I was not in a good health state, all that stuff. Maybe I'm manufacturing all this. Maybe everyone has welcomed the change with open arms. And
I don't think that's going from one extreme to the other.
Maybe like me, they're continuing to, thank you, Nat. Yes, I will pay your new hourly rate for the printers where I print money. Like the fact that anyone is negative about that. That analogy falls apart with the whole like true collector. In that analogy, where's the true collector fit in? That doesn't make sense. But no, it's wild. I get a little unhinged when people have such wild takes. Like, how do you complain about the money printer rent going up slightly to where it's still massively EV for you? They literally have created something that prints money, and they're not hogging it for themselves. They're sharing it with us.
I agree. I agree.
Right? I need to
get an argument from me on this one. I don't know. I agree with that.
No, and you're here. You're just like an innocent bystander in my rant. Like I'm doing it into the ethos. I'm doing it into the camera. This is gonna be. I normally don't clip. I need to start doing that. Do you give me permission? Should I make like a Pokeflipz clips channel, or should I just do it right on this channel?
Are we running? Are we gonna
need to start
2,000 subscribers?
I feel like that rant would be picked up by Opus. I feel like that one would get a couple of views on Instagram. I need to do that. Dan's eyes are red lasers at the moment. and to be fair, too, some of it is just, I'm not like a viral influencer. I'm not good at the whole internet game. Some amount of it is literally just flipping. Pokeflipz. There you go. Some of it is literal. It's just engagement bait. Some of them know better, but they know that like, oh, hey, woe is me. I'm a victim of PSA. They know that will get picked up by Reddit. They know that will get picked up by the algorithms. They know that a lot of the Timmy MSRP army will be on their side. So yeah, big shout out to that. Some of the people that I think maybe should know better, they're 4D chessing it. I am misinterpreting it. And yeah, that actually is a great call out, Parrish Plays. Oh, absolutely.
True.
I think one thing that I think I'm doing relatively well, and I don't know how successful it actually is, but using Opus. Well, like if you're doing long form content and you're not using something like Opus to make short form content from it, I think it's pretty wild. And honestly, no one asked this, but if someone asked, Dan, Nick, what are the biggest misses that you've had in your business in the past year? I'm going to ask this to us, Nick, since no one asked us this good question. Dan and Nick, what is the biggest miss that your businesses have not seized the opportunity on in the past year? I help facilitate in some way for PK and Pongo over on Fanatics. I do all the sourcing. And then for the guys over on eBay Live, I'm just the platform and stuff. They do their own sourcing. But to some extent, my brand, my name is affiliated with multi-7 figures in live stream sales in the past year. And you know how many clips we farmed from that? Bierski tagged me one this morning. Shout out to Bierski. He pulled a God Pack the other day in 151. You know how many God Packs we pulled? Do you know how many PK pulled multiple base Japanese Charizards in a single night? Did he pull? I think he pulled back to. I can't even remember because there wasn't a clip that got 100,000 views. But I think he pulled back to back base unlimited Charizards. That is such a horrific miss by me, by PK, by Ponga, by Bierski, by Grimer, by Spat, by Skya. The couple big Metazoo pulls that he had on his few Metazoo streams he did. But it's crazy. It's crazy how we're not taking that free opportunity for growth and everything. So that's R1. Nick, I need to use the bathroom quick, and then I'll be right back. But yeah, what's your answer on that? What's your biggest miss over the past year, and what are you going to do in the next year to potentially solve it?
I think it's just what I'm doing. 2026, the biggest goal is social media. Getting better with posting, making posts on Instagram, getting back to YouTube. That was probably the biggest mistake of I don't even when was that? Probably 2024 is leaving YouTube. I should have been a Dan and just stayed consistent. But we're gonna get back on there, keep posting videos. Because yeah, we don't make anything from ad revenue, but just getting your name out there, so that people know that you're buying collections, or even just getting people onto eBay Live. eBay Live has started to do a little bit of new marketing, and bringing people over there, but they do an awful job of advertising. So it's up to us, the sellers on there, to get people over to eBay Live. So I think that'll help. But yeah, social media in general. I think Instagram, just because of the ease of use there, is number 1 for me. YouTube is number 2, and then YouTube Shorts are number 3. But yeah, so in general, just being better with social media is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I know, like, I'll shout out somebody who is a little bit of he sells some of my packs. Shout out to Java in Wake Forest, North Carolina. He started doing clips recently of like his in-store interactions. He started doing like vendor game store POVs, and he's getting hundreds of thousands of views. Is that going to make him $10,000 a month revenue, this, that, the other? Not necessarily, but you just never know. It is literally free to do it. I guess it costs him some amount of time. Maybe he's able to pay an editor in the amount that the revenue that it creates. But the interactions are there. The content is existing. He's just putting it on a platform, and he's gotten like millions of views and sub growth. And views and subs aren't everything, but they are something. They are something to some extent. So I think it's crazy the amount of Ascended Heroes and Prismatic Evolutions God packs that we've pulled, and we've not we've. And it's one thing too, like, I guess Java has to go a little bit out of his way to record the interactions in the store. There's an argument to be made that maybe some people won't like that. I can understand some pushback on that front. But with the live streams, it's like it's literally already being recorded. It's literally already out there. It's just like we're only publishing it to the 30 live viewers, the 50, the 100 live viewers at the time. And all you'd have to do is just clip, move it over here, and then boom, you expose it to millions of short form viewers. It's pretty wild to not have done that. And I say that, and Nick said like he's going to try to get back. We don't fully believe him. We'll see what happens.
Oh, you don't fully believe me. Everyone else is on my side.
But here's where your pushback should come and would be good too. Is like I don't have it. It's on my to-do list. On my to-do list somewhere. Step number 50, priority number 50 probably. I have like doing something to clip Fanatics Live, to clip eBay Live. I want to do it. It's just so far down my list. Frankly, it was my biggest miss last year. It's probably going to be my biggest miss next year. I say this. I don't think all my guys, all my various independent contractor streamers, I don't think they all listen to this. But I know I saw Grimer in here, and I think many of them will listen to this. I hope they do it for themselves. The way that I interact, like with you, Thrifty is part of Old School Pokemon, right? The way that I'm doing it is more like independent contractor. It is Ponga on KetchumAllCollectibles. It is PK on KetchumAllCollectibles. I want this for them too. Part selfishly, honestly, because like, hey, if Ponga turns into Ponga Rev, if PK turns into PK Rev, if one of them blows up and it happens under my umbrella, like I'm going to get some amount of that growth. But I want them to build themselves up too. I want them to build themselves up alongside, not just build my name, my brand, and then if and when things happen down the line, they don't have much to show for it. I want them to have a big Instagram. I want them to have like a big YouTuber or whatever, something to take with them if and when their story goes beyond KetchumAllCollectibles, right? We'll see. We'll see. I hope you do have us on it because, like, frankly, there's the content is being made. It's just it's not being put in the right places. And I did see a question from Krabby that someone answered in the chat. But yeah, Opus is like an AI tool. It uses the words that you say. It probably uses like the tone of your voice and the inflection and the volume. But it will take a 3-hour live stream and it will give you like 50 proposed clips. If you want, you can go in and you can massage them. You can fix any typos. Sometimes it misunderstands a word, whatever. Yeah, I do maybe 3 shorts a week from my every other week 2 or 3 hour live streams, and it proposes 50. I could just like degen dump. The only way I would feel comfortable with that is if I had a separate channel to just dump all 50 clips. But I curate. I go through and I spend probably an hour a week, an hour every other week, looking at my proposed Opus clips and then actually posting the ones that I want to post. But I think it's plus EV, and depending on the operation, depending on the setup, I think pulling a God Pack is significantly more viral than me talking about the whole PSA money printer, blah blah blah, yelling into the camera. Let's see. Jojo Jake says, fun fact, I started the short form content last week. My Instagram grew 1.5K followers in a week. I had one reel do 150K plus views. I have seen the light. I've rethought my long form content and how it would adapt. Yeah, it's crazy to not. It's crazy to not, because are those 1.5K followers going to necessarily make you $1,000 a month or make you be able to quit your job just for Instagram or whatever? Probably not. But sometimes they could be the difference between getting seen by some platform, getting seen by some business, and getting some kind of a deal. Like, you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I have everything started, and Opus is one of them. There's a handful at least. I'm not affiliated, not sponsored, all that crap, but I'm a happy consumer of Opus. So yeah, it's really cool, and there's more than just Opus out there. I think Opus is one of the better ones. The research that I did a year ago, or whenever I started using it, very happy with it. Let's see. Cheeks Galore wants to know, when will a wild Nicholas appear on the off-center pod? You ever going to be?
There we go. I don't know if they want to do guests, do they? I don't know.
4 people, guests would be
5 people. Maybe when one of them is sick or whatever. And when it's just the 3 of them, start doing like special appearance guests. I would definitely hop on.
Yeah. 4 people. And shout out to the off-center pod. They're against all odds, against all the
against all odds. Oh, God.
Against all the smack talk. They're coming up on episode like 10 soon, I think. So yeah, go check them out if you haven't yet. It's a great show with some great friends. But yeah, 4 people is a lot. I think they're doing it well, but especially the way I ran, I could not be on a 4-person podcast because it would have to be 5 hours long for everyone to get some amount of conversation in. Live in the middle of the day. Don't you guys have jobs? No, not. Here's a good question that kind of ties into the whole boom thing. I do have all the questions started. I'm just trying to take them like as they fit. UAP says, have you heard about Eli's statement that Japanese Pokemon is increasing MSRP by 10%? Do you think we'll see the same again for English? Absolutely. Hell yes. Absolutely. 100%. Guaranteed. If and when things persist the way they are today, I guarantee they will raise MSRP multiple times in the coming years. Pokemon and Distro and everybody up the line, kind of like PSA. PSA just increased the MSRP of grading because the supply demand is so far off. They can't supply enough at the given price, what they were doing. So they raised the price. That's what you have to do. Pokemon has to in-house more of that profit because they're the workhorses of it. They're the ones paying the artists, designing the sets, making the game. They own the IP. They deserve more of the money. It is wild if and when anyone will be offended by MSRP going up. Do I think they should jump the gun? Do I think they should go to $300? Do I think they should overreact to what is likely short-term things going on? No. But yes, I absolutely think they will definitely in the coming years. If every set releases 50% above MSRP over the next year, yes. What do you think, Nick?
I'm not convinced. And I'd like to know, because I don't know, how often does Pokemon increase MSRP? I think it had been at 144 for years, talking like XY era to current, and then they jumped it to 160. So I don't think they take these MSRP increases lightly. And I don't know if they necessarily would increase it just because of we're in a boom. They could make more money. I think they're doing just fine as it is. And I don't know if they necessarily would do that. I'm not sure where they just increased it from 140 to 160. I'm not as convinced we'll see another increase for the next era. And then like with the Japanese increase, did Japanese have an increase when we got ours from 140 to 160? Did theirs increase from whatever it'd be 25 to 28? I just don't know. But yeah, I'm not as convinced. Everyone on YouTube is so convinced we're gonna see an MSRP increase. I don't know what makes everyone think that. Yes, they could make more money. Yes, that would help the scalping situation. But I think Pokemon thinks makes it like considers a lot more than that to actually increase. Because it will obviously upset a lot of the true collectors out there. It's going to be huge for them. They're going to hate it. So yeah, I think Pokemon does put a lot of thought into that, and will only increase it for something like their production costs increase or whatever the case may be.
I think at some point you have to, though. At some point, it's out of your hands. Some Timmies, some dummies will screech at the proposal of it. But like if Pokemon just said like, hey guys, things are crazy. Am I right? Like, look at this past 14 months. To help try to keep things in stock at more stores, to try to help like them increasing MSRP to anything less than $199.99. What would that work out to? Like $5.49 a pack. $5.49 a pack would be what does that work out to exactly? $197.64. So I'm gonna layer this through multiple things. If and when many people on PokeTube are correct in that no box will go under MSRP again, and they might be. No box will go under 120, 150, 200, 100, whatever number you want to go with. It's arbitrary which one you pick. If they're right, then I think within a few years we'll have 100 and I already forgot the number. I already closed it out. I think we'll have let me get the exact number again. 197.64 MSRP. It's only reasonable. It's only rational. It's like I think a good analog is PSA. PSA is creating a product that costs no more this week than it did last week. I promise you. Like there is no yes, inflation exists. Yes, the slabs cost some amount more than they did 12 years ago when I started. But largely speaking, honestly, PSA is probably grading for cheaper per card today than they were 12 years ago when I was doing it for $6 a card through bulk. Because even though the plastic has probably gone up, inflation, whatever, wages haven't significantly gone up to that extent. And honestly, with their scale, 10xing an operation of that scale, economies of scale are probably more than offsetting actual inflation. I think similar would be to Pokemon. Sure, inflation exists. Sure, wages have gone up to some extent. What's the minimum wage in North Carolina?
I think it's the opposite. I think you have to add so much more because it's not only the grading, you also have to add more people in payroll, more people in HR. You need more space.
Yeah, but that stuff scales though. If you have 1,000 persons,
yeah, I don't think so. It's cheaper for them to grade cards now that they're expanding than it is. No, I don't know if I believe that.
This ties in well with a question that I can't fully answer. But let's take this question, and then I will go back to semi-answering as much as I can that question. So Herblore says, do you know if your charge for CGC grading is the cheapest anyone gets, or do the big submitters get cheaper rates? Understandable if you know and just can't answer. I know, and I can't entirely answer, but I can answer through a very circuitous route, I will say.
Oh, God. Here comes the Fanatics grading promotion.
Here comes the Fanatics grading promotion.
Brought to you by KetchumAllCollectibles Grading.
So this is not the one. Where do I have it? Do I have it here? Okay. So I can grade your cards through CGC for $8.50 a card. I make no money if it sells sub 120 aside from the grading fee. So I can't tell you what I pay for grading, but I make all my margins. So above 120, I make a little bit of margin percentage-wise on the total sale price. But I don't advertise this publicly aside from here and there in a live stream or on Instagram from time to time. But it's not permanently advertised anywhere publicly. DM me if you want to consign. There's my little self-promo. But I grade for $8.50 a card is what I charge the public. I make money charging the public $8.50 a card. So like it's a very short leap to say I pay less than $8.50, right? So let's go from there. So I pay less than $8.50 a card. And CGC, PSA, they're different entities, right? They their overhead is different. They're this, they're that. Like they have different slabs and some amount of like I don't know who's paying more for what. But at the end of the day, CGC. So for the same logical leap that you can say Dan is charging $8.50, and we know Dan is making money, so Dan is paying less than $8.50. I am paying less than $8.50, and Fanatics is making money, and CGC is making money. I pretty well know through conversations that I cannot disclose exactly what Fanatics pays CGC. And I pretty well know what Fanatics is making per card. So I can't say exactly what, but I have on good authority that cards are being graded for nearly as cheap, if not cheaper, due to the economies of scale than they were 10, 12 years ago. This is not a guy talking out of his backside who doesn't know anything about what he's saying. This is a guy who's grading let's do month one. In month one of 2026, me and my consigners together through that CGC Fanatics thing, we graded over 10,000 cards. So like scale is there, duration is there, 12 years in the hobby. I know what I'm talking about. They are grading cards today for as cheap functionally. And I'm talking about in absolute terms. What's the inflation over the past 12 years? If you do real terms, if you adjust for inflation, they are certainly, I don't say this lightly, I guarantee they are grading cards cheaper in real terms than they were 12 years ago. I guarantee. Some people,
you'll never convince me on that.
I guarantee it, Nick. I guarantee it.
Absurd. I just don't know how business works, but I can't see it.
Let's see what $6 in 2014. What is it worth today? Inflation. Like Nick, $6 in 2014 is $8.21 today. Nick, I am charging the public $8.50.
You're doing CGC. No, that's not the same.
You think PSA you think it costs PSA double what it costs CGC to grade? I think it costs them less. I bet it costs them 10%, 20% less due to their scale. Not more. Think PSA pays more to grade than CGC? You don't understand business, Nicholas. I'm sorry.
PSA is so much bigger.
They benefit from being bigger. They benefit from scale. Why do you think that makes it more expensive?
So many more added costs to that. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't see it.
What are PSA's added? So here's a little business lesson for some of you folks out there. And Nick does not seem to understand business too well. But say you're like me, KetchumAllCollectibles, a one-man operation, like Z&G Emporium. What does Z&G say? We had him on 2 weeks ago. He said he has like 5 employees. If and when James scales from 5 to 50, scaling from 5 to 50, you don't really get economies of scale. Because I might be speaking out of turn here. I could be wrong here. I don't think James has HR. I don't think James has, but like if and when he goes from 5 to 50, from 50 to 500, you have to add HR. You have to add more things that are like the inverse of economies of scale. But once you get up to having like 500 employees, you already have HR. You already have like all these different departments. And once you go, like one HR person can service, and I don't know the numbers here. Now I am talking about talking out of my backside. I don't know. Can one HR person service 100 employees, 500 employees? I have no clue. But CGC has overcome economies of scale. PSA has overcome economies of scale. As they grow, things get generally cheaper and easier. They don't get worse. So, okay, so we know one fact that we can state: CGC is grading cards for less than $8.21 a card. Guaranteed, factually, evidenced by Dan charging $8.50 to the public. Dan's making money. Fanatics is making money. CGC is making money. What do you think PSA, what do you think their cost is per card to grade a card?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Yes.
I would on around there, maybe a little bit higher. 8 to 9. Or no, I'm sorry. Because no, so CGC is cheaper. So I'll say CGC's doubling. So I'm gonna say CGC's paying $4. So that would mean PSA, I'm gonna say 5 to 6. I'm gonna say they're a little bit higher than CGC. Which
is cheaper than they were. And maybe I misspoke too. What I meant to say, I need to think how I worded this. I'm not great with words. What their cost of grading cards is today is cheaper than what they were charging the public 12 years ago. And it's probably in line with what what their cost of grading cards was back then too, because of, again, economies of scale. When you take a business from tens of thousands of slab a month to 1 million slabs a month, you benefit on so many economies of scale. I have some experience in this place. One of my old jobs, like I used to take some processes from pilot scale to industrial scale. Not that I would call what PSA was doing 12 years ago necessarily pilot scale, but when you're making a product and you're making 100 kilos a month of that product, and you move to making 10 tons of that a month, when you scale a product 100x, there are times where your production costs drop 90%. That's not made up. That's like labor per unit kilogram, labor per unit ounce, pound, whatever you're working with. A lot of times your economies of scale drop 90%. Am I saying PSA's drop 90%? I'm not going to go that far, but like I am as confident as I can be.
I still think it's different because you're talking production, machinery. There's no machinery with PSA. It's all labor intensive. Yes, you can automate the encasing process and all that stuff, but physical people are touching every single card, multiple steps across the process. You've got to have someone physically there unboxing a submission, making sure that submission is accurate, grading those cards, quality control. It's so much different than manufacturing. They can't be cheaper than 10 years ago. Because the only thing you're saving buying in scale is the raw material, the slabs themselves. How can it be cheaper? I don't understand that. Makes zero sense.
They are in California. So to be fair, what was California's minimum wage? Not that they pay exactly minimum wage, but they probably pay some ratio of that. California's minimum wage in 2014 was 8. In 2026, it's 16. So it has doubled. So a large portion of what they do, it is not product, it is not process, it is just people, right? It is people. So at the end of the day, we're arguing over like very minor amounts. They're charging 5 times what it costs them, right? They're charging significant multiples of what it costs them. So where this whole argument was born was like, I don't know if you remember where we started here, but I'm just getting a flashback memory of it now.
No idea what brought this
Where
up.
we started was you pushing back on, I don't think Pokemon would raise MSRP of cards because they do it for so cheap. My evidence was like PSA is grading for so cheap. What they pay to grade has significantly less of a factor versus like what the market will bear. The market will bear $25 a card, so they should charge it. Take all the money. You literally are renting money printers. So take all the money, the market will pay for them. That's my take. But I could be wrong there. And let me see Florida. CGC's in Florida, so like their human cost is way cheaper. Florida's minimum wage in 2014 was $8. It's still 15 there. I know, like shout out to Pokemon. Pokemon being in North Carolina, they're smart. I want to say North Carolina has been $7.25 since yeah.
That's wild. How do you have a state with that low? Not even double digits? That's absurd.
That's here we go. Galaxy said PSA told me it's $3 in labor to move a card in their warehouse. Is that saying like moving it
really
from grading to the vault? Dan to Nick, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Anyways, I think it's all an interesting. Conversation. What would be really interesting? 10 years ago, 12 years ago, one difference is that we had 10K filings. Collectors Universe was a public company. Someday, maybe Collectors goes public again. That would be really interesting. Because we would be able to kind of like hammer down into their financials, and if and when they ever go public again, I would probably make a video kind of diving into if there was anything to be gleaned from it. I think it would be fun. It would be fun. Like obviously Pokemon, part owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, Creatures, all that stuff. If Pokemon was just straight up a U.S. corporation and they had to do all the 10K filings, and you could buy PKMN stock on the S&P 500. That would be awesome. All the things that we could glean from the SEC filings, but that's not the world that we live in. So someday maybe we'll see.
That would.
But in any case, in any case, PSA, Pokemon, all these companies are making obscene amounts of money. It is insane. It is disgusting. The businesses in the space are making obscene, disgusting amounts of money too. And it likely won't last forever, but I guess we'll see. Many people on YouTube tell me every day that this is going to last forever. So I hope they're right. I have a lot of stuff saved. We will work through them. Dan, I have a sealed case of OP05 booster boxes. Oh, man. That's the first set for One Piece that I got allocated. I bought my allocated cases, 4 cases or 8 cases. I bought for like $800 a case, $70 a box-ish. And they're $13,000 to $14,000 a piece now.
That's
Who would you suggest consigning with? I also have an extra case of OP08 as well, about $2,500 value. These One Piece cases are crazy. So I consign myself. If you look at DC Sports right now as we speak, one of my OP14 cases is live with DC Sports simultaneously as we speak. One of my cases, OP14, is live with Golden. So I consign with Golden and DC Sports. I'm a very happy consumer of their services. One thing I'll say, with DC, not affiliated. With Golden, hashtag affiliate, hashtag ad. Send Cam Card Bates on Instagram. Send him a DM. Tell him Dan KetchumAllCollectibles sent you. He will get you hopefully good rates. If he doesn't, send through me. I'll sell in my Golden. I'll take a couple % for the service. But yeah, I actually do have a little bit of a kickback thing set up with Cam and Golden right now. Do you don't really consign with anyone, do you?
No, I never will either.
Hold on. 5 years ago, we're almost 5 years old, guys. Shout out to Pokeflipz. Shout out to us. I think our next episode. I need to look at that. Our next episode might be our It might.
No, I think it's March. I think we got. It'll be close, but I think it'll be the episode after. Beginning? What?
Is it the?
I think it might have been the beginning of March. Maybe like I think it'll be the episode on the 12th. It'll be our 5 years.
Hold on, I'm going into my videos. It is literally the episode 1 of Pokeflipz before it had a name was my video's first channel. My channel's first video. So end of March 26th, 2021. So 5 years ago.
Oh, we're gonna be live that day.
Wait, does it land perfectly?
If we stay with our schedule.
Oh, Nick, we have to.
Because it'll be the 26th, the 12th, and then the 26th.
Put it on your calendars, everyone. March 26th, 2026. Nick and I are going to have a 5-year bonanza. Maybe we'll do something special for it.
We're going to do something fun. What are we going to do? We're going to do something fun.
We do have to do something fun. But that's crazy. But Nick, I cut you off because I know what you were going to say. 5 years ago, Nick would have guaranteed that he'd never have an employee. He would have never had a live stream. He would have never had this, that. So Nick does the 100% thing that I never say never, Nick. Never say never. But why don't you consign with anyone today? And why might you in the future?
It's not going to happen. I just like, I'm very old fashioned. I like doing everything myself. I like
that's why you have Thrifty and Walrus, right?
Yes. No, I like having all my sales on one place. I'm still maybe delusional at this point, but I'm still hopeful to one day build up an eBay relationship and do something with them. So yeah, I just like having everything in one place. And being in complete control over everything. Whereas Consignment, maybe Consignments do a very good job. You're hands off, no 1099, lower fees than I'm paying myself. So I'm not saying Consignment's a bad thing. I'm just saying in my particular circumstance, I prefer selling myself. Because you can have bad pictures, bad titles. people who don't do item specifics, just all the little small things. I just like having control over everything.
And I actually need to touch on this in a video. I don't know which one I'll touch on it in, but sometime in the next couple of months, let me make a quick note for myself. Because like the cost of creating, the cost of going it alone is high. Like say you sell, this is something people don't fully understand either. So shout out to the myself first, KetchumAllCollectibles Fanatics. Shout out to the ZNG Emporiums on eBay. Shout out to the DC Sports on eBay. We're not going to shout out Voldemort. We don't use that name around here. But if you sell a $2,500 item on your eBay, that costs you $300 in final value fees if you have a store. So you have to pay a monthly fee, have a store, you have to be top rated seller, and you pay 12%, right? So if you sell that, if you sell a $2,500 item on DC Sports nets you 96%. So 0.04 times 25, $100. It costs you $100. So it costs you $200 additionally to sell on your own eBay versus selling on DC Sports. I guess a little bit different because like if you charge shipping, you'll get that shipping, whereas DC Sports makes a little bit of money on their shipping probably. But yeah, like it literally, like say you're selling $2,500 items, every single one you sell, that's an additional $200 you're losing, not selling it through someone bigger, benefiting from their contracted rates. One difference though, like you were talking about OP05 cases that are 12 grand. So whether you're a store or not, people don't know this. Final value fees cap. So like if you sell through James, his highest payout is what is his highest payout? 95% above 3,000, I think. So if you sell a $30,000 card on your eBay, you pay 12% to 2,500, but then you only pay like 3% from 2,500 to 30,000. So if you sell a $2,500 card with DC, with James, with me, same thing goes for Fanatics. I'm not just picking on James here. I'm not just picking on DC Sports. If you sell through Fanatics, if you sell $1 million card on Fanatics, you will get the same that I would net you. I can't net out any more money than Fanatics will net you directly. But if you sell, I forget what the number is. I think if you sell like a $30,000 item through Fanatics or less, you get an additional percent. So if you sell a $30,000 item through me, you get an extra $300 than if you had sold it yourself. If you sell like a $2,400 item, you're actually getting like 2% more. So you're getting an extra $48 on a $2,400 item selling through me than selling yourself. So it's very expensive. It's very expensive to build up your brand, build up your name, and there's pros, cons. Like you need to weigh all the factors to it. But if you sell millions of dollars of stuff at 12% to build up your brand, and then at the end of the day, they offer you 9% rates, which are still higher than James rates, which are still higher than my rates, still higher than DC's rates. It's like, what were you actually doing? That was me a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, waking up to that realization. Been there, done that to some extent. So yeah, I need to make a video fleshing that out more. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't actually care that much whether or not you consign. Some people sell to me. Some people consign with me. Some people consign James, DC, and do what's best for you. Absolutely. But understand the math behind determining what's best for you. Because a lot of people have no clue, frankly.
Yeah. No, I think for most people it does make sense. But then again, there's unless you're trying to build something yourself, I do still think there's massive benefit to having your own brand. So unless you're wanting that, it doesn't make sense to sell yourself at this point. Because it does take a lot more time, a lot more effort, having to deal with customers. It is a pain. So I think for the vast majority of people, consignment is 100% the way to go.
And there's a way to kind of have your cake and eat it too, to some extent, right? Like, not everyone is gonna know KetchumAllCollectibles Dan or KetchumAllCollectibles, and then you got PK Ponga, you got Skya, you got Java, you got Grimer, Bierski, Spat. I need to make sure I don't forget anyone.
There we go. You got everyone.
To some extent, like they're all integrated with the business. They're all independently contracting one avenue or the other. But yeah, I sell a lot of my stuff through DC Sports, but I also like still exist. Like people also still know the name to some extent on eBay. I simultaneously, it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's not the absolute best as if I went all in on one and But there's ways to do a little bit of both, right? If that makes sense. Timmy McGee has 500 plus mini tins that are tins only, packs removed, 10 plus binders from binder collections. What to do with these broken down products? Is there a way to offload them for some dollars? Mini tins, I give to my wife to give to her students. Some parents love me, some parents hate me. I've donated some to like our local Cub Scout thing, a bunch of the pens and pencils and the pads of paper and the lunchbox tins. And if you can turn those into money, let me know how. I used to have someone that would pay $1 a binder. I gave them 500 binders and that went away pretty quickly. It's like, and there are listings on eBay where these things are selling for like $5 or $10 or whatever. After shipping, they might be netting $1 or $2, but not nearly at the scale at which they're produced. So I generally recycle a lot of them. It's painful. Some of the artwork on those mini tins is beautiful, but it's like I have 500 of them and I can't get rid of them. So yeah, that's what I do. Binders are easy enough that I give those away. I've never had more binders than I could give away or bulk out for $1 a piece. But then it's like you ship 50 binders and like you're paying $25, $30 to ship it. And it's like, was that actually worth it? Or do you just, I don't know. I know a lot of people that throw them away, recycle them, whatever. What do you do, Nick?
With the tins and stuff, I just throw them out. I do recycle them. I'll throw them in the recycling bin. But yeah, they just get tossed out. Binders, sleeves, dice, the energy packs, all that stuff I hold on to. I can't get myself to throw those out. It was actually funny. I had I used to save the ETV booklets, and I've since thrown all those out too. But I actually had someone come in the stream the other night and ask if I had any ETV booklets I would sell. So there is a buyer for that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna look
up Hidden Fates ETB booklet. I still have in my basement. So buy it now for $5 with $1.50 shipping. Someday I will probably be able to sell those for $20 a piece at like a local convention or something.
They're cool booklets. It's like it's the same thing as like the base the base set theme decks, the instruction booklets. Those are so cool to look at now. That'll be Hidden Fates one day. That'll be Ascended Heroes one day. If you go far enough out into the future, it's gonna happen.
I'm a hoarder, so like I don't do it for every release. That's way too much. But I have a handful. I probably have 500 ETB booklets around my basement. Hidden Fates, Champion's Path. I definitely have some 151. I definitely have some like celebrations. But I do my kids too. My kids each have one of all of them. I have one of all of them going back to Plasma Storm. So I personally, I used to have a sealed collection of every one. I also opened one of every one. So at one point I had 2 Plasma Storm ETBs. I opened one and I kept one sealed. Before it became popular, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? I used to say, "Por qué no los dos?" If only I was as smart and as good in every way as Pat Flynn. I would have preempted, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? And I would have said, I'm going to both open it and keep it sealed. And I could have been a viral sensation with millions of followers. But alas, I didn't go that route. But I will be able to cash in hundreds of dollars someday on my ETB booklets. So I do have that.
Hundreds of dollars.
But yeah, good luck. Mostly recycle them. If you have to move them around, if they're taking up mental and physical space, it's like, even if they're worth a couple $100 in 5-10 years, is that actually worth all the mental and physical space they're taking up?
I think it also depends on like where you're at. If you're just starting out, I think you could get creative and actually do well with those. Put like a coin, put some sleeves, put some hollows in there, reverse hollows. I think you could do well. It's going to be an absolute grind. But if you're just starting out, that's how I started.
Like I think a local show Yeah, like
exactly.
attending a local show or something and doing like, hey, these are my Timmy McGee packs, $5 a piece. And you literally like you put some dice, you put a mini tin, you like, and then you do a couple cards, a guaranteed holo, an EX that you pay 50 cents for in bulk or whatever. Absolutely. There are probably 100% profit margin things that you could do. Are you going to become a millionaire with that? No, probably not. But could you turn $100 every weekend into $200? Could you turn a couple $100 into 400? Like, absolutely. Like that's a kind of thing that could happen. So all relative to your scale and all that stuff. At what, why won't this highlight? Oh, there we go. At what price point do you put booster boxes in acrylic, 500, 1,000, etc.?
Hey, I got my nice little booster box collection. Sitting.
Oh, here we go. Show and tell.
Why are we going the wrong way? Oh, there we go. Right there. Yeah, no, I'll do one of every box. I started with Sword and Shield base. Now we're up to Mega Evolution. So for my collection, it's one of every box. You can literally get acrylics. Acrylics, they're not that expensive. They're, what are they? I bought some off of eBay, $13.50 a piece. So you're paying it's basically $10 for an acrylic.
It's half the price of grading.
It makes the boxes look better. It protects them. Dan's putting MetaZoo boxes in. What's that?
This is over $1,000 box. Come on. Yeah, I do similar, and this is really gonna get some people. I don't have them yet put into them, but a friend, Silver Snorlax, right? Going back to E4 days. I saw him post on Instagram recently that MetaZoo booster boxes are a different size. He actually was making acrylics for MetaZoo boxes. I ordered like 50 of them. I every time we sell one of the alt art boxes, we'll put it in it because they're all above $1,000 a piece. But then collector boy side, I'm gonna have one of every box in them. I'm gonna have one of every base box, one of every chase box. I think they're interesting, and that goes to show you too. So one thing and maybe it was during the pandemic, maybe it was different. I should have pushed back more on it when it was happening, but it's like, who am I to question Charlie Herlocker? I remember a couple years ago him saying something along the lines of like the cost of them getting the slabs is like really high. Is like I heard him say a number that made no sense to me because I don't know what they paid exactly, but I know that people in this box is for Pokemon. It's oversized. I know that people are buying the raw materials at small scale. They're manufacturing the acrylic box. They're selling it to me for $15 a box shipped, and they're making money. They're making money off that. So going back to the whole CGC thing, I can't tell you what they grade for. I know what they're grading for, but I can't tell you. But I'll tell you that I'm allowing you to do it for $8.50 and I'm making money. So like, again, I used to be an engineer. There's a million different kinds of plastics. I don't know exactly what kind of plastic PSA uses, but the fact that they're doing this and it's this much plastic and this is this much plastic for 15, I know, guaranteed the cost of this plastic. Years ago, Charlie said something about it being like multiples of dollars, which made no sense to me. Maybe pandemic, blah, blah, blah. Maybe, yeah, short-term supply squeeze, whatever. These things cost nothing. Look at a one-touch. Like, this is slightly different, but not much different. It's a one-touch that's sonically welded is all. So, yeah, looping that back into the whole PSA. And but like, again, some people get mad because it's consistently inconsistent and they suck at grading. And yes, all those things, but they also make you money. So who the hell cares? Make your money. That's my take.
We're talking about acrylic cases for booster boxes. We're done with PSA.
I'm still heated. I'm still on. I'm still on PSA.
Oh my god.
They're making disgusting amounts of money. We are though too. So who cares? And one thing I'm gonna rant on too. Does anyone else get the DMs? Yageli Manufacturing, YAGELI, in China. Stop DMing me. I have blocked you guys on 27 accounts, It's like Annie from Yagelli, John from Yagelli, David from Yagelli. What are you guys doing? I'm trying to get away from you. I don't want to buy your acrylics. They're cheap enough to just buy on eBay. Holy crap. It's actually, Galaxy says yes every week. It's actually insane. For a while, I wasn't blocking them. I was just muting them, and I'd see them pop to the top, and they'd go to the bottom. And then I started blocking some, and it's like, I replied to some of them. Stop messaging. I'm never going to buy from you guys. What are you guys doing? They must have so many acrylics over there. It's insane.
Well, they're the one who manufacture them.
Are they like the sole source for everybody, or I don't really know.
I think most people go through them, because when I was doing it, that's who I would go through.
Well, there's the sauce, guys. Get Yagelli out of my DMs. Search Yagelli, Yageli on Instagram. You will find 1,700 accounts that have Yagelli in the name, every first name combination possible. DM all of them, get them out of my DMs, buy their stock. They have a lot of it. I don't know why, but that grinds my gears more than any other DMs that I get on Instagram. It's crazy.
Yeah, I get those all the time too.
I've seen Pokeballs and tins turned into lamps and clocks. Probably not much work to do and great way to upcycle if you got the time. That's interesting. I've seen them. I know my grandpa in the past, he's taken like a Grey Goose empty bottle and turned it into like a lamp, and I've seen some of those things. But if that ever became profitable, though, like the way all those things work, the way those things iterate, if that worked out small scale, you'd make a couple of them, you charge 10, 20 bucks, whatever, you'd make a reasonable amount for your time. Then it would be like mass produced, and you'd sell them on Etsy here and there, you'd sell them at local shows, and then it would get commercialized. You'd have Yagelli start making them. They'd be filling your DMs, and they like half of Etsy these days. At least I don't interact with it much, but half of it is literally just mass produced stuff imported from China. And I don't go to these frequently either, but sometimes I get taken along with the wife or with whatever. You go to these like farmers markets and you go to these little shops. I'm just absolutely ranting on nothing now. But you go and it's like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, back in my day, it used to be like little handmade trinkets and bracelets and necklaces and jewelry and whatever and lamps. And now it's all just like, I can pull up on Alibaba. I can pull up on Wish, and you can find this stuff that they're selling for 20 bucks a piece for 20 cents a piece. That's all those things are these days. The little county-wide garage sales, the little farmers markets, pop-up shops, whatever. It's almost all that. It's crazy. I don't know. I bought a Pokemon rock before there's a market for anything Pokemon.
There's literally, where do I have them? Right here.
Oh, Pokemon Junk Slab, Kitchen Black Splash. That would be awesome. Oh, there you go.
Rock? Well, there's an eBay live seller that does rock streams. Big rock seller in China.
I was gonna say that's got to just be Wish, Alibaba, Temu, right? Is the other one?
No, they're hand carving them, Dan.
Oh man. Let's see. I do have to wrap up in the next 30 minutes or so I'll try to quit ranting about Temu and Wish. I'll try to get back on the questions.
I will be right back to the next question.
Okay. Let's see. Oh no, Nick Bona says, you guys selling any first edition Charizards? Hope you guys got your kickback from the links. Did you use the link in the description down here? I actually looked. Unless it takes a while to kick to the eBay partner network, I'm going to log in right now. I don't think we got it, and it's been 2 weeks now. I'm going to log in. I'm going to check. But yeah, there should be a link down in our description, I think. Let me look up YouTube Pokeflipz. Unless I screwed it up. Why am I not coming up with Pokeflipz? There we go. I spelled it wrong. Our own channel. There should be a link down in the description though. That oh, that's funny. We have 76 horizontal viewers and 4 vertical viewers. But yeah, there are 2 links down there. We never got the eBay Partner Network thing for that $17,000 sale we made for James.
Dang it! Thanks,
No,
Nick.
My last 60 days only has $3,000 of sales through my link. Yeah. So like, it's terrible. My last 60 days is $160 in payouts. I do not pump the affiliate links enough. But no, I don't know where he clicked.
But, I wonder if they expire. Do they ever expire?
So it needs to be the last click. So if he clicked through the affiliate link in our description and he bought within 24 hours, we are supposed to get that.
No, but I wonder if our link expired. Because we've been using it for years.
It shouldn't. Let me actually look at the campaign. So I have a special campaign for Pokeflipz so that I can see if man, I'm so bad at all this stuff. I don't even know where to go. Performance by campaign. If this doesn't dox me anywhere, I'll just share this. But yeah, my our Pokeflipz has 0 clicks.
It expired, or they changed the format or something.
If it has 0 clicks, something must have not worked because yeah, it should have registered that click at least. My YouTube only has 24 clicks in the past. What is this duration? This is. I went back to this is last 7 days. Let me go to last 60 days and see if we have clicks. Pokeflipz YouTube 3 clicks. So it's working. 3 clicks, 0 sales. I'll just show this. This doesn't dox me. I'll just show this. You guys will see everything. Let me share screen. Where are we? I don't know if campaign ID matters. I don't think you guys can do anything with this. Don't steal all my eBay Partner Network money.
Can't wait to see your social security number pop up.
Yeah, I know. I'm making sure.
You don't need to share it.
No, I think it's interesting to
share. But that's it.
I think it's interesting. Yeah, I guess let me. That's a safer way to do it. Let me not share the actual screen. Let me screenshot it and then share the screenshot. But yeah, if I screenshot it, save it as that, I can put it over my face in OBS. Image. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there.
I thought we said we were going to go quicker since you only had a half hour left.
I know.
Now we're sharing graphs.
Ooh. So I'm gone here. So I've made, this is my entire YouTube has had 101 clicks in the past 60 days. And I've made $3,190 in sales. And I've made $160 from those clicks, from those earnings. If you scroll down, YouTube, website clicks, Instagram, I don't even know what default is. My default campaign, I don't know where those links exist. Somehow I got 35 clicks off links that I frankly don't know where they exist. Our Pokeflipz Anchor got a click. You remember when I used to cross post on Anchor? Anchor is like the audio only thing. I don't even do that anymore. But yeah, Pokeflipz YouTube got 3 clicks with 0 earnings in the past 60 days. So I don't know what's up with that, but we got robbed. We got robbed. Maybe it needs to go through authenticity guarantee. Maybe the sale needs fully complete. Maybe it comes back retroactive. But yeah, I have no idea. Anyways, we'll try to speed up now. Unfortunately, though, I don't have any more first edition Charizards. And apparently, if you use the link, apparently we won't get money anyway. So punished. Thoughts on the $1 million sale for the CGC9 Illustrator? I can't comprehend it at this point. I feel like we're going to see them flood the market after Logan sells. Where did that happen? Did you see that, Nick?
Did not even know that was a thing. I'm so far removed from trophy sales. I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on it.
The Logan illustrators.
I don't follow that market. I don't know that market. It's way above my pay grade.
Nick said authenticated but not in vault yet. Maybe the sale needs to fully finalize and then we'll get it. I don't know though. But we appreciate you either way. Thanks for trying. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we won't. But I didn't know it happened. I feel like I'm pretty deep in stuff, and I didn't see that come across my radar anywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Discord. It's way beyond my means. So like I don't care that much, frankly. Like I kind of care what the illustrator goes for, the PSA 10 illustrator. I have stuff in that same block. I think I'll benefit from Logan Paul will benefit too. He'll get his cut. He'll get a percentage of everything in that block, like he negotiated on the Golden Touch. But yeah, I think there's the whole PK Ono, all the extra copies, and I think more will come out. I think a couple of them will go really, really high. And then like everything else, WotC right now, Gold Stars right now, Ponchos right now, Mario Pikachu, all that stuff at some point will go too high, and then it will retrace down. Will it, in going too high, double from now, triple from now, and then only retrace 10, 20, 30% and still be above in 5, 10 years, 20 years higher than it is today? So two things can happen. At some point, illustrators can crash in the future. Simultaneously, they could still be as cheap as they ever will be today. Do I know what's going to happen? No. Do I care what's going to happen? Frankly, no. Because outside of my control, I have no skin in the game. Even with base first, even with Gold Stars, even with things that I like and are in my price point to some extent, I still don't buy them. I don't really have them. I don't really invest, speculate, collect high-end slabs like that, because to me, the opportunity cost is too high. I think I can do too much more better things with that money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
UAP says Instagram. So it was probably like the fine card post, private sale, Fanatics, Golden, whatever. And people always have such strong takes to those things too. I think a PSA 9 illustrator private sold a year or two ago for $2 million. And then one auction for like $1 million or 800,000. We probably talked about it on Pokeflipz. Mm-hmm. My take on those is that some billionaire was like, oh, hey, cool, Pokemon, gimme $2 million. Cool, sure. Click a button. Pay the $2 million. That was probably a real private sale. Could it also have been somebody's buddy? And it's like, at some point, I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But that's why I always say, like, market price is not really a thing. These things can be all over the place. Comps don't really matter that much necessarily, especially more for this higher end stuff. If and when an item sells for $1 million, just because one sold for $1 million, whether it did or whether it didn't, that doesn't mean if you have a CGC9, you can get $1 million for it. That was one finite sale. That was one thing that happened. The next one might go for $2 million. The next one might go for 200,000. No idea. Like, this is all made up. It's all intrinsic value 0. So yeah, that's always my takes on that stuff. Yeah. Can you predict what it would take for modern boxes to be sub 200? In my opinion, it is in an eventuality. Modern product on release cannot sustainably be greater than 200, but what will be the fallout? I think it will be more drastic than it should be, because people are just being more irrationally exuberant than they should be. I like, if and when Destin goes sub 200, it will feel like, oh my God, and I'll do it too. I'll do it too for the clicks, whatever. Destin Rivals dropped 70%. I wouldn't see it as dropping 70%. I would see it as becoming available. Oh, a less than 1-year-old set, a less than 2-year-old set became widely available for under MSRP. Like, I won't see that as a crash, but I'll call it one because everyone's going to call it one because they're stupid. But that's just the world that we live in. So look, what can cause, and whether it's Destin or whether it's Ascended Hero or whether it's, that doesn't have a booster box, whatever set it is, it's going to happen eventually. It'll be either through substantially increased supply, substantially decreased demand, likely some amount of both. It could happen without supply increasing or demand decreasing. Well, I guess it would be demand decreasing, not through Pokemon's fault, though. If and when the Dow drops 40%, Bitcoin just recently dropped 50%. If and when the Dow and the S&P drop 50% in the coming year, Pokemon is going to drop a lot. Will it drop exactly 50%? Well, I don't know, but it's going to drop a lot. If and when millions of people, tens of millions of people get laid off, it will drop a lot. So there's 20 paths for it to go sub MSRP. Which one will it take? It'll probably be some portion of all of them.
Yeah. Pokemon just needs to print a whole bunch more. Or something bigger to happen, like you said.
and they're investing in 1 million plus square feet of production space. So
we're not gonna see that. It's not gonna affect boxes that I don't think that warehouse will affect any boxes.
And I'm not talking about destined. Yeah, but in eventuality. 2 year, whether it's 2028, 2030, 2050, who knows? Like nobody knows.
Yeah.
But eventually. And there's actually a path where it might take 10 years to work itself out. They are doing 1 million square feet now. They might do 1 million more square feet in 3 years. They might do 1 million more square feet, 1 million more square feet. The new floor for printing might be 50 or 100 billion cards a year in 2040. And we could actually, this is Permabull Dan, I could be wrong. Destined Rivals might never go under MSRP. There truly could be a world where no box ever goes under 200 again. In that world, MSRP might be 300 in 2040. And we saw such sustained growth for a 14-year period between now and then, a 20-year period from 2020 to 2040, a new paradigm, a new normal. All those things could happen. This market is nothing. This market is tiny. Gold, silver, multi-trillions. S&P 500, tens of trillions. Bitcoin, trillions. Pokemon cards, a billion, a couple billion. Like, this is nothing. Crazy, irrational, obscene things could happen. There are worlds where no box ever goes under 200 again in Pokemon. The new MSRP in 2040 is $300. Wholesale's $220 a box. Like, do I think that's going to happen? Hell no. But like, could it? Absolutely. And I'm called a bear. Opus, clip that for me. We're posting on Instagram. Question, Dan, if your wife didn't have a job with benefits insurance, would you have quit your job when you did? Nick, was benefits a factor in your decision to go full-time? I'll let you answer first. I'll make sure I don't miss more questions.
It was a little bit of a factor. It kind of stunk that I was going to have to pay it myself. And not have as good benefits. But I think that gets more important as you get older or you have a family. For me, I had really good benefits working on the ship. But then when I went full time, in order to save money, I got like the cheapest insurance possible. So I don't have any good benefits. It has to be like a catastrophic thing that happens where I spend time in the hospital before any of that insurance kicks in. But yeah, where I'm younger, relatively healthy, it doesn't matter as much. Where if I had kids like you, Dan, I think it would matter a little bit more. But at the same time, it's yes, it is expensive, but it's not as expensive, especially where in this type of market where you're making so much money. I think when I looked into it, like a good, not like the best, but a solid insurance was $800 to $1,000 for me a month. The insurance I got is $250 a month. So it's expensive, but it's doable.
Is it like a catastrophic, basically?
Yeah, the one I have, yes. But like a solid good insurance was $800 to $1,000. Like a premium insurance was $2,000. That's what I was looking into.
One thing that I think I need to make I made an insurance video like 3 years ago. Some new revelations in the space going on as we speak. I need to make a new insurance video. The way that some people think insurance works and the way that they use insurance just kind of boggles my mind. I see insurance as a tool that like prevents wipeout risk. Basically, if you're trying to nickel and dime an insurance company, you are not going to win that battle. They're going to raise your premiums and get the money back, or they're going to cancel you. But like, so let me answer Krabby's question first, and then I'll do a little bit of a rant. But I was actually going to ask you, if it wasn't too prying, could you share what you pay? But the thing with insurance, and we live in the USA, and I know some international people are going to be like, ha ha ha, we have free health insurance. Well, no, you're paying for it just a different way. That's a whole different rant too. But anyways, I have kids. I have to have it at any time. Love it or hate it, it's just a fact of the world we live in. I or my wife or my kids could have some kind of a thing, and it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars for necessary, like, life-saving medical care. That is an unacceptable risk to take with someone's health, with someone's life, right? So I will always be insured one way or the other. It was great that my wife had it, but one thing that I've been largely ignorant to, and I've been in a place of privilege because I've had a, so I got married to my wife the year that I turned 25. So for anyone uninitiated, you can be on your parents' health insurance until 26. So I literally stayed on my parents' health insurance until I got married, and then I went over to my wife's. There was a year where we were on my employer's because she took paternity or maternity leave and all that, but that's a different conversation. But anyways, I would have likely quit my job at the same time. So as of today, I don't know what it would cost me to have an insurance policy through my corporation, through like the exchange, whatever you call it, Affordable Care Act. But likely, in the event that I didn't have a spouse or my spouse didn't have insurance, whatever, I would have done the math on it, and it still would have penciled to just quit my job, buy insurance, and go from there. So the answer is I would have quit at the same time, very likely. It would have been a little bit more expensive in some ways, but I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure there's options out there where I can pay $300, $400, $500 a month, and I can have a catastrophic policy. Sure, the deductible on some of those policies is like 10 or 12 grand, but I would have that in an account. I would have that in my buckets. My bucket number one would include $10,000 for my health insurance premiums, right? If and when the worst happened, a couple years ago, I had to have my appendix out. That cost thousands of dollars. I probably wouldn't have used my insurance for that. I probably would have just paid out of pocket for that. I want to say that cost 20 grand or whatever going through insurance. The way insurance works, it's like if you pay cash, it's like half the price. And I probably would have just out of pocketed that. Go to the doctor, cost you a couple $100. I'd out of pocket all that. Some people get really weird. It's like, oh, I can't afford a couple $100 a month when I go to the doctors. And then they'll just pay like $500 a month for insurance. Dental insurance is actually one that's wild. Like, we're uninsured for dental, and it sucks. I had a filling last year, and you go, and it's $500 for a filling and an x-ray and the dentist, and he comes in for 5 minutes, and it costs $80 extra for him being in there for 5 minutes. Good hourly rate. But I know people who pay for dental insurance that has an out-of-pocket, that has a coverage maximum. It's like, that's just a savings plan. It's like you're paying $100 a month for all year, so you're paying $1,200 a year guaranteed to avoid a $500 bill that may or may not come. It's like you're guaranteed. Some people and the way they understand, the way they interact with insurance is actually mind-numbing. So if and when I ever had to, and maybe someday in the future I will, my wife's school actually just laid off some teachers. They just announced some layoffs. She's so far from the bottom of the whole hierarchy, and she's only a couple spots away. If they lay off like another 3 to 5 people, school-wide in our district, she'll be on the chopping block. So like, there's a world where next year I'm getting my own insurance policy, and she's really upping her contributions to the company as vice president. But yeah, anyways, I've heard some stories. I made a video about CIS. Do you have CIS? Do you have Collectors Insurance Services?
No comment.
And I think it's reasonable. So if I was doing business in a way where I didn't consign much, if I never shipped packages over 20 grand, I would self-insure largely, barring like having a 7-figure inventory. That's a different conversation. But I think it's reasonable for a lot of people to just self-insure. But given the right business setup, I think CIS is very plus EV. Where it's not plus EV, though, is claiming $500 here, $50 there, $1,000 here. That, like, you are not going to win nickeling and diming. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I will rant about that more. I will make an updated video for 2026 on what I use for insurance, why I use it. I think a lot of people just have no clue how to use it properly, because it is a very profitable industry. And I think generally speaking, it's negative EV for a lot of people, but financially purely. But it's not always just finances. It's not always just finances. And if you have a 1% chance at going bankrupt and literally not having enough money to save your child's life or something, like that is an unacceptable risk that I would never bear. So yeah, insurance is a necessary evil at times. And insurance is mispriced at some times to where it's actually plus EV. I need to be careful about how loud I talk about that because I could just get everyone's insurance premiums jacked up. But frankly, the way some people are using insurance today, it is a certainty that insurance premiums will be insanely increased in the years to come. Insurance companies won't listen to this 2 hours and 20 minutes into Pokeflipz, I don't think, because some people are just using it so not wisely. CIS it's a ticking time bomb. It is not going to last forever the way that it is today because some people are abusing it in a very not wise way, is what I'll say. Let's see. Dan, I'm surprised you haven't become the capital guy for more buys that other people source, but not enough funds, not loan shark level, but I feel like you could make a lot doing that more often. I've teamed up multiple times with people on, they reached out to me and they're like, hey, I've had people pass deals to me and take some amount of a finder's fee. I've had people cut me in on a deal. I take half, they take half, whatever. So I've done it to some extent, but these days, like my liquidity is low six figures normally. My line of credit that I got through Chase is $250,000. So with that, my line of credit, my liquidity is up into the mid six figures. I get some deals in my inbox that are $1 million. I get some that are like all of that liquidity to where I wouldn't have cash flow for day-to-day operations. So like I have some amount of capital, but yeah, some of the deals that take place, like I can't swing that big still. So I guess if you know me and you need 50 or 100K, if you're like a little bit short to make a deal close, like loop me in. I'll either pay you a finder's fee or we'll figure something out. But other than that, like, man, there's a lot of people that have significantly more liquidity than I do. And it's, yeah, we're booming is what I'll say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's the biggest deal you've ever taken down? 100K for me is the biggest singular deal.
I've never done 100. It's been, my biggest one was 60,000. That's it.
It's crazy. My three biggest deals all happened in the past 3 months. 100, 77, and then like 62 or something. So like my top three deals have all happened very recently in quick succession. They definitely, that's why I got the Chase line of credit partially. But no, I guess to an extent I have been the capital guy, but I also have no means to be the capital guy for some of the deals that go on. I've actually had people reach out to me like, hey Dan, I got this $1 million deal I'm working. You want to go in? I don't know who you think I am, but like, there has been a day where I had between my line of credit, if I carried a credit card balance on a couple credit cards, there's a day where maybe I could have swung 500K, 400K, whatever, a couple times here and there. But no, my general liquidity for like taking down a special deal that I wasn't anticipating is more like 1 to 200, 250K in that vicinity with the line of credit, maybe a little bit more. But no, that's not where I'm at.
No.
Let's see. Question for both, but most for Dan. What's the downsides of investing in creature deck cards from a wealth preservation standpoint? I don't like I don't like those cards generally. I guess they're interesting, but the more appropriate answer is I don't like them as much as the market does. Cards like those scare me. Could they pan out really well in the future? Absolutely. For anyone uninitiated too, these are like a few hundred of them supposedly were given out to Creatures employees. The 25th anniversary, there's 25 different cards, one from each year. They just go for so much. Opportunity cost. I think my money is better utilized in other avenues, in tax advantage buckets, in the pallets, in the operations of the business. So yeah, it's just and I could be wrong. Those could be massive returns on my money. Those could far exceed anything I'm doing, but I don't think they will.
I also don't know if do they have history to them? I think they're like modern cards. I don't think they. I don't know. I just don't think there's a history to them. It was a gift to Pokemon employees 5 years ago, where you could get like so many other cards from like the beginning of Pokemon that have more history to them. I don't understand those cards. I'm with you on that one. And then aside the Chansey, they're reprints. I don't know.
Yeah, dollar for dollar, pound for pound. As an investor, as a collector, as a business, I would just go for other things in every respect. Like this is what this one is at. It's not over, but yeah, they're just not for me. Like in a hobby, in a business where there's just so many things, this is just pretty far down the list of things that I'd interact with. As an investment, speculation, flip, whatever you want to call it. But they are kind of interesting, I guess. Just not really for me. And one thing that scares me with those too is like extra copies exist of everything. Illustrators years ago, everyone thought there were 4 and then 9 and then 11 and then 13 and then 35 and then 21 in there somewhere, maybe 39. And now there's like over 100 graded between all the companies. How do I know PK How do I know whatever the guy's name is with all the alpha, beta, delta of Foxtrot? How do I know they didn't spool off an extra 1,000 of these or something? Like those things are just significantly more scary. Krabby's card says, do you guys ever ask for bigger allocations or do you just take what you get? I know nothing is available now, but for future growth. That's one of those things that it's like in the early days when allocations first started being a thing, maybe I fought the fight a little bit, shoot your shot. But at some point you will become a nuisance. Your rep will not like you. I think that's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should be the squeaky wheel more. Maybe I should beg and plead. But I don't think that would be plus EV. I don't. I take my allocation. I say thank you for the thousands of dollars that you just instantly made me. And then I move on.
Yeah, same here. Like one of Mad Al, they have like they say you're getting this many, confirm or deny it, and then you can request more. And I used to do that. They had like, how much do you want? How much extra do you want? There's a little description box that you can type in like, well, I don't know why you deserve it, or it's something like that. So I used to do that, type out a little message to them. And it's just such a waste of time. So no.
Nick could only copy and paste so many pretty please ooh-woos. Oh man, no, I take what I get. We are going to be wrapping up soon. I have this question from BB that we will take as our final one, but I'll answer Josh's quick. So this is not a credit card. This is not a cash advance on a credit card. This is a formal business line of credit that is guaranteed by me personally. I am the personal guarantor. If and when I didn't pay off this line of credit, like a credit card is unsecured, higher interest rates, all that stuff. If you don't pay your credit card, they can't come after you for your assets or anything. I personally am the guarantor of my business line of credit. They will come after my house. They will come after my assets. They will come after everything and anything. So there's no cash advance fee. I paid, so for anyone unfamiliar, a month ago, I closed on a line of credit through Chase. It's a $250,000 line of credit. I had to pay an initiation charge, like a closing fee, basically, of I think it was $650. So it's a one-time fee, whether I use it or not. And then every time I charge on it, it's basically like a loan. Like I could theoretically max it out to 250 grand and carry it for years, paying the minimum payments. I'm not going to use it that way. I'm using it to manage cash flow. But I'm actually pulling it up now to remind myself. I paid $630.55 is the origination fee. And then when I charge on it, so a couple weeks ago, in one day, I bought $130,000 worth of collections. I bought from L Dubs, and then I bought from this guy Evan down in New Jersey. So I was carrying $150,000 line of credit balance while I was doing that. While the money's on there, it's prime plus 2. I think I pay. Prime right now is about 7, so I pay 9% interest on any active balance, and it's charged by the day. So I charged 150 grand to it. I charged, and the way it works is like mechanically, I deposit money into my bank account from it. So I deposit instantly. Boom. I deposit. Right now I could deposit 250 grand into my checking account. I could max out my line of credit. 249,000 it is actually. By the day, by the minute, by the second, it accrues interest at 9%. So I would log in tomorrow, and 249 would go to not 9% per day. It's 9% per year, but it would go up to whatever the appropriate number is. And yeah, so I actually carried, it was about 2 weeks that I carried, a week and a half, 2 weeks that I carried the 150K. And for that week and a half, 2 weeks of interest, I paid $482.50. So my total all-in cost of the line of credit so far is about $1,100, but I've already used it as a tool to buy $130,000 of collections, of which I'm going to make more than $10,000 on. I mean, hopefully I'll make 10%. If I made 10%, I make 13,000, right? So very plus EV. But one thing that I need to be clear that I'm not doing, I am not maxing out this line of credit, investing in $600 Destined Rivals booster boxes. I'm using it as a cash flow manager. Hey, I buy a big collection. In the time it takes me to run a live stream, in the time it takes me to get them to DC, to get them to Golden, to get them and to get my payouts, I carry it on there. But yeah, there's no 2.9% cash advance fee. It is not a credit card. It is a business line of credit. But yeah, the house is not, and I had this conversation with my wife. It's like, technically, if I maxed it out, if I didn't pay it off, they would come take the house. Yes. But there are not balances being carried on this. It might be maxed out at some point. It will always be an arbitrage thing. It will always be a paid off within 30 days thing. Functionally, I'm using it like a credit card, but it's not a credit card. Distinctly different. And yeah, on my way to Chase now. Daddy needs a new Mustang. Very, very dangerous things could be taken away from that whole thing. So I feel obligated to give context. Most people would. It's funny because they declined me for 250 grand, and they gave me 249 grand. My guy, my rep at Chase said he's never seen that before. He said every time someone gets declined, they get like half of what they asked for. But he said they declined me for 250 and they gave me 249. So I must have been like right at the limit of what they were comfortable with. I don't understand it. But anyways, I would not advise. I would not advise most people to go and get big lines of credit and to heavily use credit cards in any fashion like I know some people are. But used the right way, it can be massive. I think I'm going to use this in a way that makes me tens of thousands more this year for a cost of only a couple $1,000 in interest as I use it probably.
I think it makes sense.
With that, though, Nick, what is the Pixar Nick? So when people use our custom things, they don't come through StreamYard. StreamYard needs to get on that and fix that. What's the one thing you would like to see most for the 30th anniversary set?
Enough product to go around. That's not going to happen. I don't know. All I can think of is like how they did sell. I really liked celebrations. So I thought like going through every era was a really cool concept. So maybe a celebrations 2.0. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. But yeah, I would like to see more of that. Maybe add a Shining Gyarados this time. Add some different gold stars. But yeah, my biggest thing overall, just make it available. Have plenty of product where we can actually open this set and have fun. It's not gonna happen, but
Nope. Reprint at least one poncho, says Alex PokeCR. Yeah, Celebrations 2.0. I'm all for it. Give me the Pikachu stamp. Give me the 3-0 on the cheeks instead of the 2-5 on the cheeks. I was a big fan. Look at Celebrations Charizard. Listen to the market. We need another base set Charizard reprint. Give me 2 though. I don't want just one. Give me the normal one. Give me the same exact thing as Celebrations Classic Collection. Give me the 3-0. But then also, remember the Pikachu? Remember the full art reimagined Pikachu that came in the set too? Give me that for Charizard. Give me that for Blastoise, for Venusaur. Give me extended art, base jungle fossil, or give me 251. That or 251. So Celebrations 2.0 or 251. Pokemon Crystal vibes. Give me all of Kanto, all of Johto. But with that, we are at the end. I had to go 10 minutes ago, but me going now will be fine too. Anything in closing?
No. Thanks again for another episode. It has been fun. Are we gonna have an episode for Pokemon Day? I think we will. Yeah.
The day before. Yeah.
That'll be cool. Okay.
I have big things to talk about for Pokemon Day too, so we'll have to talk about those then.
I do too.
PokeCon in April too. A lot of things happened with PokeCon in April this week. A lot of things, Airbnbs were booked and things were planned out. So I thought that might come up today, but it didn't. So we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. Stay tuned. We might have a guest then. We'll see what happens. But our 5 years coming up. 3 episodes from now will be our 5-year anniversary. That's wild. Appreciate everyone as always for being here. Go check Nick on eBay Live and everywhere. Go find Thrifty. Go check all my streams out with all the gang over on Fanatics and eBay. And yeah, as always, we appreciate you all watching. We will catch you all later.
See you later.